I have no idea how to prepare. I don't know. I think it'll be totally different and like nothing I have no idea I can't even imagine what it'll be like.
Bakira Barret is the Freeride family reunion in the Pyrenees. Stop number 1 of the 2026 Freeride World Tour. Val Thorens, France is the proving ground. Oh my God!
When you look at just our sport as a whole, Alaska is at the very top. And so that is the ultimate dream as a snowboarder, as a skier as well, to go there.
Oh, and Justine getting caught up in the rocks. So Sibylle Blanchon takes over the top spot. Victor and Liam putting a little bit of breathing room in between themselves and that chasing pack. Incredible run there from Toby Rafford, top to bottom. For sure, the fastest run we've seen so far. Toby Rafford taking over with a tie. This is setting up for an electric Xtreme Verbier.
Coming into Verbier, it's going to be exciting to see if we are still friends by the end of it.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance. We are live at the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. The finals, the whole season has built up to this. My name is Derek Foose, here with our ultimate freeride expert, Hadley Hammer. Hadley, it is absolutely electric here right now.
It really is. The snow looks amazing. The weather looks perfect. We are thrilled to be here in Verbier.
Oh yeah, this place is, the history is just oozing out of it, and the Bec des Rosses is the backdrop. We've put together a little piece just to give you a sense of what's going on in the riders' heads behind the scenes on this legendary venue.
Standing at the bottom, imagining going from the top. It's a pretty nerve-wracking feeling.
The face is so steep, and standing up there is scary in the beginning.
I've heard so much about like how steep and gnarly it is. I've never seen it in person, but I can only imagine.
So exposed, if you fall in some places, you can actually die.
Verbier is the home of freeride.
With it being the birthplace of the Freeride World Tour, that like brings it a whole lot of value.
That line I did on the back was the scariest thing I've ever done in my life, I think. And trying to one-up that is a pretty scary feat to accomplish.
You need to be daring to confront your biggest fear.
It's the feeling after of overcoming that fear that I would be looking for.
I'm really excited, but definitely a little nervous.
And this challenge is the real deal.
The real deal indeed. You know, I think for any freerider to say that they've even gotten to stand in the start gate of the Bec des Rosses is something for everyone's roster. It's on everyone's dream. It really says I am one of the best freeriders out there.
Every time you ride up that jumbo cable car and see that thing, it feels like you've been punched in the stomach, and we just have to sit here and watch them, let alone actually dropping in from the top. It's just incredible. And the history that this thing has. This is the 30th anniversary of the Xtreme Verbier. They've been doing this for that long, since the mid-90s, and the history behind this is just incredible. Take a look at what's gone into this to get us to this point.
The Swiss Alps, created thousands of millennium ago by colliding continental plates, their grinding impact left a landscape of mountainous valleys and glaciers. Amongst them, one peak known as the Bec des Rosses in the ski resort of Verbier, where the inaugural Red Bull Xtreme presented by O'Neill was held on the 23rd of March, 1996.
It's the good shit.
Me here for Surf Monte.
Just a matter of time now.
Oh, camera's ready.
Well, it started as a wild idea that the locals here in Verbier had. They put it into play, and it's built into this. Watching these guys, watching what they were doing back then, it doesn't seem that different to today.
Not really. Even the fashion from 1996 has creeped back in with a lot of these young riders. But yeah, it's just wild, this mountain.
Yeah, 2004 they added skiers. In 2008 they got the Freeride World Tour going. But this truly was the birthplace of this entire snow circus that we're living now, and still the home for the best riders in the world to really show what they've got on. I mean, the most difficult, the most intimidating, the most impressive competition face on the planet.
Yeah, it's the one event where every rider starts a little bit nervous. You know, there's others where they have a sense of calmness, but with the Beck, they all have that slight twinge of fear, which is probably healthy given how steep, how rocky, how intense this terrain really is.
It needs the respect. It
Yes.
truly does. You can't go out of the start gate in full charge mode. It just isn't. It isn't that field. You know, that's not how this works. And speaking to the riders today while we were watching the Forerunners, that mix of excitement and terror really is palpable. You know, you can just feel it waving off them, and it's exciting, it's terrifying, it's scary, it's electric, it's everything, and we're here for it.
We are here, and it's such a beautiful place to watch. And I think out of all the venues, this one, you really feel it in person how steep the actual face is. It doesn't always translate to the camera, but this mountain is the real deal.
Yeah, the intensity, it's just incredible. So we're going to dive into our GoPro face preview here, the ultimate competition face, the Bec des Roses here in Verbier, Switzerland with Hadley.
Here we are, the Bec des Roses, the infamous. This year we will have 3 start gates, start 1, start 2, start 3. It will still be starting at about 3,000 meters. And they'll have 600 meters of steep fall line. You can see here on this footage, it is rocky, it is convoluted. And once you put your skis into the fall line, there is no putting any brakes on. If you fall, you're going down to the bottom. It is as steep as it gets here on the Freeride World Tour, 43-degree slope, top to bottom average. It is intense.
Yeah, I guess if anything the riders have going for them is it's not convex, so they can see most of the way down. The weather today, absolutely glorious. Temperatures are cool. The snow is immaculate. We've got a chilly -15, but that's keeping the snow light, fluffy, and blower. 5 out of 5 snowflakes. We've got a little bit of a wind coming out of the north, just 20 kilometers per hour. So it's just lightly brushing the face. We shouldn't have any wind slabs. When the avalanche control team put some bombs on the face this morning, just a little bit of slough. No slabs, nothing really major. So I think we're in for absolutely prime conditions today.
Totally. We got really lucky with that lovely snowstorm these last few weeks. It feels like February all of a sudden here in Verbier.
Yeah, snow all the way to the valley, even down in Sion. It's absolutely incredible. The conditions yesterday and the day before, the riders have been really enjoying riding around Verbier, trying to find aspects that are similar to the Bec. I mean, there's nothing similar to the Bec, but they're doing their best to just get in the snow, get their skis sliding in the powder. And we had 3 forerunners, all kind of Freeride World Tour royalty: Camille Armand, Carl Regner Eriksson, and Christopher Trudell. And we've got our judges, speaking of royalty, Jacqueline Pollard, we've got Bertie Denervaux and Lolo Best, the 2 commissioners of the Freeride World Tour, Laurent Gauthier-Larry from Whistler, Canada, and then Ludwig Bianchi. Bianchin from France is our video judge today, so he's going to be running those colored bars that give us so much information about how all of the judging categories are playing out for each rider.
Exactly. So those bars that you'll see on the screen is coming from the video judge. He's giving his input on how it's going, and then the judges are, in the meantime, putting in their scores, debating between them. And
all right. Well, we are set to go here at the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. The first group on tap is going to be snowboard men. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Yeti Xtreme Verbier, the final stop on the Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance, the first category of the day, snowboard men, and it is all to play for. The battle developing here between the veteran and the local is so exciting. Hadley, Victor has an all-time world title record at his fingertips, but the man who lives right here, Liam Rivera, is definitely in play to take that opportunity away from Victor. There's, oh man, like, where are we going with this?
It's exciting. I love coming into Verbier with things unsettled and unknown. It means that the riders really have to go all the way through the whole season, fight it out till the last one, and really prove themselves on the back. And as you said, it'll be really interesting. Liam, a local, but Victor also spending a lot of time here as well, and he wants to take that overall champion title away from Marianne Harity, who has had it for 5 or 6 years now, I think. So we'll see who gets it at the end of the day.
Yeah, Victor managed to tie her record last year, which was a huge deal. Marianne was the sole owner of that overall title record for a long time, and he managed to get the tie. Now he has the opportunity to move into solo, overall first place here. But Liam Rivera was looking locked in this morning. We got to ride the jumbo with him. He was very focused. He seemed very serious. He's usually a pretty friendly guy, but he was absolutely locked in. He's competing in his backyard. Do you think, in your opinion, is that an advantage, or is the added pressure, gonna be too much?
I think that's up to the rider. They either take that pressure and use it, or they take the support and use it. And I think it's Liam's decision today of, am I going to embrace the crowds, having my family here, having everyone here to support me and use that to fuel me, or am I going to be overwhelmed by the pressure of all that? And so that's his decision to make, and we'll see with the results of his snowboarding. But last year he did so well on this face, and so I think he can take that confidence of, okay, I can win this comp.
He can win this comp. Victor can win this comp. Anybody in the field can win this comp. It's the best thing about the finals is these riders have proven themselves through the season, made the cut. They're here now. Pressure in a way is off because qualifying for the next year is done. But of course, a win on this legendary face is something that puts you in the Freeride Hall of Fame. So it takes a huge amount of work to make this event happen, especially on a face this vast and just enormous. And we've got to look here in depth at what it takes with our Mammut venue check.
So we are day one, Freeride World Tour final in Verbier. Just arrived at the summit of Montfort, and now we are heading to the Bec des Rosses behind me. We made our way up to Col de la Chaux, and there we'll meet up with the gardien de la face.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Romuald, je suis le gardien du Bec des Rosses, donc je dois protéger la face. Ça fait 3 semaines qu'on est là, qu'on monte tous les jours, un tour chacun. Il y a mon collègue Jus qui est au petit bec, et donc on tourne, et voilà, et on demande aux gens de respecter, de ne pas rider la face. Et je profite pour dire merci aux locaux qui jouent vachement le jeu.
Right now I'm with Sylvain, checking the different start options. So far the snow is a bit sugary, and there's a lot of sharks. Oh. Looking at the speed that the riders are going nowadays, starting from the really top, might not be an option at all. But to be fair, if it's really shallow at the top, the snow at the bottom is really good. And looking at the forecast with the 30 centimeters, which should come by the end of the week, I believe it's going to be awesome.
Yep. We are putting the boot pack on for the forerunner on Saturday, and for the team tomorrow to head up to the start one. So quite sugary snow, but that'll do the job for now.
Pretty much finished start number 1. That's where we're going to put the 3D gate. It's really wide, about like 6 meters wide, about 3 meters deep, to make sure that not only the gate fits, but also that the riders can be comfortable inside it. just the stunt number 2, Petit Bec, making sure that the platform is all way down. So then we'll fly the starting gate, it will fit perfectly.
You know, Derek, it's pretty impressive. The team that the Freeride World Tour operates with, so highly skilled in the mountains when it comes to safety, when it comes to organization, when it comes to putting in the infrastructure. It's a huge task, but they're so good at it, and it's so cool.
Yeah, and watching those guys standing up there on the summit of the Petit Bec in the blasting wind, just working away. And this morning, we had the crew out bombing out of the helicopters, a couple of the local patrollers as well as the guides. They put 7 bombs on the face. Hadley, run us through what happened when those bombs dropped.
Exactly. It was kind of what we were hoping for, and everyone kept their fingers crossed. You can see just this surface amount of snow moving, but nothing significant, no avalanches. This way, we know that the venue is secured for the riders. You can see here the bomb holes there. The riders will take into account where the bombs were dropped, and it's up to them to make sure that their lines don't go through them. And yeah, this just means that the face is good to go. The snow looks amazing, and yeah, just a little bit of surface left.
Yeah, the Freeride World Tour organization giving the riders the map of where they were going to place the bombs ahead of time, so everybody kind of knew. You can see there are 2 or 3 forerunners, the absolute legends on this face and on the Freeride World Tour. Christopher Turdell, Carl Regner Eriksson, along with Camille Armand, putting it down, and it, as it often does when the conditions are like this, it brought the mood of the riders just through the roof watching those 3 ride on the face. We heard Lolo say there was expected to be 30 centimeters of snow. It turned into 50.
Yeah.
So the conditions are absolutely immaculate on the venue right now.
They really are, and it's 50 new centimeters of snow, but it's not moving, which is really nice. When the forerunners went, the slough was staying in place, which means that athletes have full confidence to move across the venue as they'd like.
So we have a look here at Camille Armand. He was dropping out of start number 1, or I think this is actually live, but we do have a look back at Camille Armand dropping out of start 2 for a 4-run. And just, Hadley, take a look at the snow here.
Yeah, it really looks perfect. It's supportable. That means that they can take big airs. They know when they lay their skis or snowboards into the snow that the snow will hold the edge. You can see Kemi, a previous Xtreme Verbier competitor. Oh, wow. And he showed why he's one of the best snowboarders, able to take that air. And as you said, watching him go, you could feel the excitement from the athletes just rise and rise and rise.
And I know at least one of the snowboard men was really happy to see Kemi put a lip in on that final feature because he was looking at using that in his run, and he was a little nervous with it being powder about having to put the lip in to be able to make a trick happen, especially for the snowboarders. If they're setting off the toe side edge, they want to do a front side 360, and there he is, the man of the moment, Camille Armand, the man we just watched doing that 4-run, and give us some insight into what it does for the riders, for the mood, for the whole vibe of the event when you watch a 4-runner just lace a run like that.
It just installs confidence. When you first come up here, there's some texture to the snow. You can tell the wind has touched a bit of the venue. But then to watch the forerunners go, especially because they're all former competitors, they're all friends, they know that if they can ski well on this face, that today will be the day that, you can really put your A action plan into place.
Yeah, A action is what we have in store for us here on the Bec. The Yeti Xtreme Verbier stacking up. Snowboard men are going to be dropping first. We're going to take a look at our overall rankings. This is where we sit right now. Victor De La Rue sitting on 22,000 points in the golden bib. But Liam Rivera is just a smidge behind him on 19,600. So it's very tight. And Sasha Baliko is in touch as well. The rookie So it really is all to play for. This is kind of what we dream about when we're sitting in December waiting for the tour to start. We're like, oh, please let it come down to the final event where whoever plays well on the back is going to put themselves into that world title position.
Exactly. They really have to give it everything they've got. They also all have Cody Bromwell's run from last year on their mind, which was one of the best snowboard runs we've seen on the Beck. And I think they look back in previous years, they get inspired, and then they have the pressure of like, okay, between Sasha, Liam, and Victor, whoever wins really has a good shot of that overall.
Yeah, we'll take a look here at the order the riders are going to be dropping in with our start list as we get a look down at the starting gate. Hadley, this is who we've got today.
Exactly. So the start list is just the reverse order of the current standings. So Cesar Baran, who is our rookie, again opening up the face, starting it out, and then it will get more intense as the runs go on with Sasha, Liam, and Victor heading down. And whoever wins, you know, it's their title to take.
Yeah, the world title on the line. The Yeti Xtreme Verbier year after year just delivers those moments that we crave as freeride fans. And this close-up drone shot of the conditions on the face, it is incredible. The weather gods have really come to play. We have the perfect canvas for the best riders in the world to do their thing, to show us exactly what they're made of. And it's an exciting day in Verbier. We've got the Freeride Junior Tour running at the same time on the baby back. So those juniors are getting to really rub shoulders with their heroes. You know, their finish, it's not the same finish, but the finish of the junior event actually comes right into the viewing area. So here's our Peak Performance Fun Bet fan favorites. Peak Performance Fun Bet, your opportunity to get some skin in the game. 96% of you feeling Victor De La Rue will land on the podium. 86% putting their money on Liam Rivera and Enzo Nilo rounding out the top three there with 63%. We can't overlook Enzo. Do not sleep on this man. The steeper and gnarlier it gets, the better he gets on his board. And I'd say he's hungry. He always wants to be on the podium, but he really wants to beat Victor.
He does indeed. And man, you know, it's rare that I have the urge to come out of retirement and ski something, but today the Beck looks so good. It's tempting to throw on those ski boots. I think the athletes are really excited for the conditions and what they can put on.
We've got Victor's kids out there ready to cheer Papa on down the Bec de Ross. Absolute legendary freeride family, and the crowd starting to fill up. It's the first time in a long time that we've had this event run on the first Saturday of the weather window. The town of Verbier is heaving right now. It is absolutely packed.
It is, and you see that finish gate down there at the bottom. That will just get more and more full as the day goes on. It's one of those comps where you can hear, feel, and see the crowd everywhere you look.
Yeah, the energy is just pulsing through the entire valley, and everybody congregating here to get eyes on the Beck to watch the superheroes of freeride lay down the runs that they have been dreaming about, some for their whole lives. There's a few riders in the field that have competed on this face before. We have 3 rookies in the snowboard men's field that have never set foot on this face at all. So it's a real mixed bag, but the one thing that's consistent is the level of snowboarding is going to be off the charts. And we are zooming in on start number 3 at our first riser, Cesar Baren, the man to kick things off today in Verbier for the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. This man coming out of Val Thorens in France, rookie on the tour this year. He's come onto the tour with a huge splash, and his whole demeanor around his riding is just so fun. He's always got a big smile on his face. He's focused, but still has a looseness about him that I think plays very well to what he has to do today.
Exactly, and we'll see how he then manages, you know, the Beck requires a bit more of seriousness in the other venues, and so it's up to him to figure out how to balance that, being comfortable, but being full on. But this guy, I mean, as you said, his runs so far this year, big 360s, powerful runs, and often he finds himself opening up these venues, which is intense for a rookie.
Yeah, 20 years old, and he's kicking off the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. And we are off in Verbier. Cesar Baren dropping in. How steep it is right off the bat on that toe side turn.
so intense for these riders. You'll see he's making his way right onto that face. The slough starting to white himself out. Huge first air for the rookie.
And a clean landing there. The transition so steep there. You've got to be letter perfect with your board placement when you land. And you can see the snow just hanging in the air. It's so light, fluffy, and dry. As César Barén biting off another big piece right off the nose, getting the grab, picking up speed, a little bit of a heel side edge bounce, but coming out of the powder cloud, still on his board.
Still on his board. You know, this is the kind of venue, nice backside 3, where there's no stopping. Once your board is in the fall line, you are heading down to this finish line.
Well, César now absolutely flying down the lower apron and just picking up some soul powder turns. I got to catch up a little bit this morning with Jeremy Jones. He goes the nose butter there, and Jeremy said those soul turns at the bottom are one of the best feelings in the world. You've done the hard part. The snow is absolutely glorious. The sun is on it. Everything is just leading you to this moment, and you can hear the crowd. Look at his hands up. First trip down the back for this young rider, and he absolutely crushed it.
It is so nice. We have started, even last night I was thinking, I just want to watch the comp right now. Like, so excited to see what these riders do.
All right, well, taking a look here at our replay, this first feature of César, absolutely huge.
Huge, and he had to deal with being the first rider, like a little bit more slough than some of the riders later in the day will have, and you saw him getting eaten by the powder cloud a few times. The judges will, as you see in the control and technique, do some docks, but really strong riding out of the rookie.
Yeah, backside 3, still up high on the face with that exposure just lurking beneath him. Well, love and kisses for all the friends at home. We got the cowbells. That's how you know we're in Switzerland. And the fans are here in force as the score coming in for César Barén, 73-6-7. He's going to take over the hot seat to start things off here. Incredible start to this event. César Barén just giving us a little bit of a hint of what's possible on the face today.
Exactly, and starting the judges to work early in this morning. It's hard for them with these first riders. They've got to anticipate what's coming for the day, leave some room for greatness to appear, but yeah, they've got a hard job.
Oh yeah, that is one of the toughest jobs in the industry. We are back up and we're at start 1. So César dropped out of start 3. Shane Blue Sandblom, another rookie coming out of the Tahoe area, the California Shredder. He was just a force on the Challengers last year in the North American Tour. This year he came on in the first event in Spain, had a little bit of an injury, and then really showed his potential in Val Thorens, landing himself on the podium with a second place and an enormous backflip. This guy has all the pieces to land himself on top of the podium, but of course it's his first trip down the back, so there's an extra element at play here. As Shane Blue Sandblom dropping in from start 1.
Dropping in from start 1, I think what Shane proved this year is how good his mental strength is. To start the year with an injury, not a great result, and then go into a second place shows how good he is. You can see this with that double. That shows the power of him as an athlete.
Yeah, and the confidence to drop in, switch there with the half cab, going back 3 on the win lip, so he's just ticking away at those air and style points, adding that double. Look at how good the snow is down low. Shane Blue now making his way down, making sure that he doesn't spray the snow up too high. Front side 3, so he's spun both ways. That snow is so deep down there, and he's had a little bit of an issue, almost getting clogged in the powder. Now, will he use this lip that Camille Armand put in? A massive backflip, and Shane Blue landing it perfectly. Oh, wow. These rookies, man, they are riding like veterans on this face.
They really are. Shane is just showing so much strength and also accuracy. You could see he landed right next to the tracks of the original of Cammie's forerunning run, and that's key. You really don't want to land in the landing tracks of the rider before you. So Shane making use of that early start order, scoping well, and he should be very proud of himself.
Absolutely. He was the one I was referring to earlier about hoping that a forerunner put a track into that lip. So sharing a big hug for Cesar. You know, these guys, they're competitors, but at the end of the day, they want to see each other riding well. As we see our hover air line tracker, Shane, starting off really technical, riding switch right out of the start gate, as we're going to see in the replay.
Yeah, and the snow at the very top was the snow that everyone seemed the most concerned about. It looked pretty wind affected. And then you'll see this massive backflip and again, perfect landing.
Oh yeah, that is glorious. Shane, for sure, you just made the highlight reel. Clips are gonna go viral after this event and Cesar loving it from the hot seat. That's the best seat in the house. They're sitting right at the base of the back so they can just look straight up at it.
So good. It was like we got lost in the sauce.
All right, well, the score popping in a 59.67 for Shane Blue Sandblom. So that little bit of a control issue, definitely, and you could see in the video judges' scores there, line as well. So, I mean, this is where things are going to get really interesting for the judges with 3 starts to drop from, and the Petit Bec side is quite filled in, so maybe the line scores won't be as strong starting from that side. That seems to be maybe what we saw there.
Yeah, for sure. There was a few moments after his top section where you still have to traverse over, and the key is how to make that traverse look fast and quick, and potentially that could be where his downfall was.
Yeah, so a strong run nonetheless for Shane Blue Sandblom as we look at the riders up on the ridge. We got a 10-second countdown out of start 3. The next man in the gate, another one coming out of Val Thorens. This is Enzo Nilo sitting in 4th right now. He's been on the podium and 2 fourths this year, so very consistent across the season, and Enzo would love to be standing at the top of the podium at the end of today as he drops in from start 3.
You can really see that first and second turn off the start is so steep and so committing, but you don't want to go so fast that you're in the fall line too quickly. As we see lining up a huge air.
And bouncing on the heel side, but coming out of it. And that's the contrast with the start 1 versus start 3. The airs on this side are enormous. And Enzo making full use of that, popping right off the highest section of that above the exposure. So Enzo Nilo disappearing into a powder cloud there. The snow, I mean, it's good, but it's also got its challenges. As a huge back 3 there for Enzo Nilo. So he has done his part. Now coming down into the apron and into the sunshine at the bottom of the back.
Yeah, those airs on that side of the face are massive, and they also require a lot of control, because if you don't stick the landing on those, you're just going to send yourself into the next one.
Yeah, talk about riding and doing airs above that kind of exposure. You really have to back yourself.
Yeah, you have to go in fully committed, knowing that you're going to stop and really believe in the strength that you've been building in your legs all season.
Well, we see the hover air line tracker there. Direct fall line attack approach for Enzo Nilo, barely moving out of the fall line. We're going to take a look here at his replay. Look at the snow, Hadley.
Yeah, and the size of this first air high on the venue, that takes a lot of guts and a lot of skill.
All right, a precision approach required. As you can see, all of those rocks and boulders just below where he took off. He gets completely lost in his powder there. And then coming into this 360, that was textbook.
Perfect riding out of the French rider. You know, as you said, he's been hungry to get back on the podium this year.
Well, let's see what the judges thought. The score coming in, it goes up a 66.33, so a little bit of a control bobble on that upper cliff, and that's where Cesar was perfect. And I think, you know, the judges are looking at where it's difficult, where it's exposed, where it's dangerous. They want to see perfection. The last thing the judges want is for you to scare them. So Enzo with that little bounce, for, you know, maybe that's where the score landed there. But we roll on, and now we are getting into our top 3 riders. Another rookie. This one coming out of France, Les Setlo, his home. I spoke to him this morning, and he was nervous. really nervous. Sasha Beliko, 28 years old, sitting in 3rd overall. He's been on the podium already a couple of times this year, including in Alaska. He wants to do it again here.
He does, and I think, you know, for your rookie season to have a chance to win the overall, that's potentially the reason why. Look at the commitment it took to throw that backflip in such big exposure, and he continues to ride with motivation, with energy down this face.
Popping backside 3 over that wind lip. So Sasha Beliko going really well. Little shades of Cody Bramwell last year as he comes down into this powder field. We know the landing under this one is really deep. Going front side 3, landing, getting bogged in the snow. Oh, but he's back up and riding. So Sasha now with one more opportunity, going for a 7.
Oh. Not quite making it, but you know, I think this is the kind of run where he said, you know, potentially I've had one of my best seasons as a rookie, and I want to show that I have even more potential.
Yeah, I mean, the balance for these riders between what they are able to execute in competition and what they have in their pocket in terms of skills, it's always a tricky tightrope, and it looks like he went on the side of all in.
Yeah. It is a tight rope, a fine line to walk for sure. The nerves, the energy of the competition, that really plays into how you end up riding.
So we see the Hover Air line tracker, similar direction that we saw Shane Blue Sandblom take, and going for that 720 at the bottom. So just absolute full throttle approach. You see it had to clear his goggles off there. What a way to enter this run.
Yeah, very reminiscent of Cody. To put a flip and a trick that high onto the face shows that you're also just ready to go right out the gates. And these athletes, they're not really warming up that much in the morning. And so it's just incredible what they're able to do. And then you'll see chucking that last 7, not able to fully come around, but definitely glimmers of what we'll see from him for years to come.
Yeah, looking like he landed in the same track that a couple other riders have landed in, so that hole is getting bigger and bigger, and that's going to be something that riders later on in the event are going to have to keep an eye on, because as those holes get bigger, they get way harder to land in. So score coming in for Sasha, 33.67. That's not going to trouble Cesar Baren. So Cesar, the first man out of the gate, has held the hot seat through all of these heavy hitters, and now has the 2 heaviest hitters in the field still to come. Do you think his confidence is building, or now is he going to start to really shake in his snowboard boots?
He just looks pretty excited. I think he's enjoying the moment for what it is.
Worst case, he's on the podium now. The worst he can do is a bronze medal on the back, which is a pretty solid first effort. As we are back up to the top, the man in the start gate, Liam Rivera, competing in his own backyard, growing up right here in Verbier, part of the Verbier Freeride team. Emilien Badu has been coaching him. He was a standout on the Freeride World Tour, and he knows how to get it done. I mean, he is on form right now and peaking at what feels like the exact right moment to fulfill a lifelong dream of winning a world title.
Exactly. You know, he knows he has to win today. That pressure is probably on, but I think he'll grow into that pressure as we see him leaving the start gate, doing those first top, very steep committing turns.
Yeah, and heading over in the but adding a little bonus feature up high risk, high reward for Liam Rivera, off the nose, just launching over that Niagara Falls, and a perfect landing for Liam.
Definitely holding on to that till the end, staying super balanced on his board as he makes his way into his next part of the venue.
So he's getting way out here, and he's got a big feature, launches a backflip, another perfect landing. So Liam Rivera showing that he knows every inch of this mountain. And look at this maze
Derek.
He's coming into. Precision required, precision executed. Hadley, that was incredible.
Really incredible. You can tell this man has spent a lifetime looking at this face, finding perfect takeoffs, perfect landings.
He had a bonus feature at the top. He added a bonus feature at the bottom. Never put a snowflake out of place there. That was immaculate. Look as we pan back up to see what he just did there. I mean, talk about leaning into the pressure.
Leaning into the pressure and showing he can, and this is why he deserves to be so high in the standings the last 2 years.
Well, that's got to put a little bit of a shiver down Cesar Beren's back watching his good friend, and he's got the rainbow stripes there of world champion. As we look back at this replay, every piece of this Hadley was just perfect.
It's amazing. This top air is just massive. You see he's able to like really hold on, activate that core. Beautiful backflip here. Look how steep it is below him, Derek.
Yeah, I mean, the ground just keeps dropping away, and then he comes into this lower section where your trajectory off that feature has to be perfect, or you're just landing on rocks and then tumbling out the bottom. And everybody else rode out this apron, but Liam going out a little bit further to the rider's left and finding another feature to just build that line score. So now the judges are going to get to work as we see the local. Okay, here we go. The score goes up, 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 way up. Oh, it's way up, a 96-point run. Has he even seen it yet? Yeah, there now he's finally got word. 96 points for Liam Rivera. A huge performance in his backyard.
Huge performance, and you know, the man who's really probably got to be shaking a little bit now is Victor up top, who needs to get first or second today to win. So Liam is enjoying that hot seat.
He just passed the pressure on.
Yes.
He just pushed it all on to Victor De La Rue. The last man in the start gate now. Liam Rivera has done his part, and he has a serious high score that Victor will have to beat. Whether Victor knows or he's just going to stick to his plan. I mean, he certainly has a high 90s run in his bag, but now he's got to do it. So the pressure all on him, and there's so much at stake here.
Yeah, you know, 96, that's the highest ever score given to a snowboard man on the Beck. So Victor has quite a lot to compete against, but you know, he is so well trained. His mind is strong. I bet he is staying in his bubble of, I'm here, this is what I'm going to do. And Victor De La Rue exiting the start gate of the Bec de Ross. What will we see out of this rider today?
So we've got him mic'd up, as you can hear the sound his board makes on the snow as Victor De La Rue passing over this exposure, backflipping into that absolute high consequence, no fall zone. Super bold start for Victor.
Really bold, huge amplitude there on that backflip, nice and floaty. You can see there Liam in the corner watching to see. Nice backside three. Oh, with the front punch.
Nose of his board just going under the powder. So Victor De La Rue with a significant control issue, now coming down into the same little maze that we saw Liam go through, the same level of precision in the landing for Victor De La Rue. So he is still continuing down, and you can see there's only the one track in here. Victor going a really different trajectory and executing perfectly there.
Perfectly. You know, I love to see how talented these riders are, where they make one small mistake, but they continue to ride and then course correct. And that takes a lot of mental fortitude to not let a mistake early in your run bobble you for the rest.
Well, a bold line there. What we didn't see, and we'll see in the replay, but the big cliff at the very top that Liam and Cesar hit, Victor opted to go in a different direction so he could do that big backflip, and you can see it there where the other riders were more on the looker's right. He went wrapping around so he could do that big backflip. So in the line score, Hadley, how do you think that's going to fare?
It could be a little bit less for sure, and maybe Victor was playing the game of I just need to get first or second and hoping those odds helped him. But this backflip was quite massive.
That was enormous and absolutely perfect. And then this is where things went a little bit awry as the nose of the board goes under the snow and he does a full somersault. So you can see with the video judge there, the control is down. I don't think this is going to trouble Liam, but do you think that could sneak into second?
This is the big question of the day for sure. You know, he did quite a lot in the rest of his run to make up for that bobble. compared to Cesar, I'm not quite sure, and I think that's why we're both glad that we're not judges.
Well, Victor is all smiles at the bottom. He's got his family around him, and that really just kind of reminds us what this is all about. The family of Freeride gathered here in Verbier. So maybe we can eavesdrop on their conversation. Well, not too much conversation. Tense moments there as the world title on the line, and of course the title of the Beck. If Liam Rivera wins on the Beck today, and whether or not he wins the world title, this town is going to go ballistic.
That is for sure. We can see here the judges really have their work cut out for them. They are cranking the numbers.
And we've had a good run over the last few years of hometown winners, too. We've had Jenna Keller, we've had Sybille Blanchon, we've had Elizabeth Gerritsen. So to continue that streak, I think, would be great for the locals in Verbier to have a hometown winner on the back. That's what they all are here for.
Exactly. The town will go wild tonight. You know, I always wonder what Victor's kids think. Like, oh, Dad's got a pretty interesting work day today.
Yeah, he goes up, rides down the steepest face known to human existence, tosses a couple backflips and 360s. There's the little one. So the family all here in support. Liam Rivera looking over the tension. You could just cut it with a knife right now between these two riders and the stakes here. World titles, victory on the back, all of it. The record for most world titles. Oh, it's all to play for. And in the judges' hands right now as they balance what the riders have done versus those 5 judging categories.
It's a certainly very exciting way to start the Verbier Extreme.
Yeah, and it's almost the entire place has just come to a standstill now as we wait for this score to drop. Everybody, eyes just zoned in, and hugs for these two competitors. They've been doing battle all season long. Cesar Barrera, they're just taking it in. He's lapping it up as a young rookie. You know, the other two, they've been in this situation before. They've been in this place before. But for Cesar, it's all brand new.
Totally, and he'll remember this for the rest of his life for sure.
Yeah, core memories are locking in to that young man. Victor's got his hands full with the 2 kids there.
2 kids, 1 on the way.
Yeah, they're a busy family. So score of Liam Rivera, 96. Victor goes up to a 75. It puts him into second. So mathematically, I believe Victor takes the world title. Liam Rivera takes the title on the back. Both of these men doing things they've never done before today.
Yeah, I think they can both be very happy. And the rookie, Cesar, also ending up on the podium at the Bec de Ross. Here we see the results. Liam with, again, the highest score, a 96 ever given to a snowboard man. Victor right behind with a 75. Cesar 73.67. Just incredible riding out of every snowboarder today.
Yeah, that was magic. Watching the snowboard men open up the field today in the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. And we've got now, that is our podium on the back. Cesar Barren in 3rd, Victor de la Rue in 2nd, and Liam Rivera from right here in Verbier winning on the back, a local winner yet again. Incredible moments for the local Verbier community here as they've got another local winner on the back, and we're going to see now what this did to our overall title.
Oh, so it ends up being a tie, but with the math that people much smarter than us do, Victor takes the world champion title. Liam right behind him. And you'll see as the list goes on, the men that will re-qualify for the year. Great stuff today this morning.
Wow.
Don't even need coffee.
Incredible moments on the back, and the first category just delivering thunder for us from end to end, from the first man down who managed to find himself on the podium to the incredible tension of the last rider battling for a 5th world title and now standing alone as the holder of the most Freeride World Tour titles ever. All right, well, we have our world champion in the finish with the kids, Victor de la Rue. A huge performance on the back, winning the world title, 5 in the pocket now. How are you feeling?
This is freaking amazing. The snow is like so good, and yeah, I had a great. Yeah, I was supposed to do a front 3, and then I was like, just fuck it. It's perfect for backy. I stomped it perfect. I was so good. And then I got the back 3. I know Liam did a sick backy, and the snow was great. But somehow the snow was pretty deep, and I just front punch. I was like, the world title is going like sous le nez, comme on dit in French, en frouze. And then I was like, okay, let's just go full on until the end of my line because I fucked up already. I cannot fuck up more. And this put me in second place, which gives me the title. So I really didn't believe it. So I'm so damn happy and to share this with my kids.
Congratulations. In one word, what is the strongest emotion you're feeling right now about having 5 world titles?
Now it's just holidays from now on. No more stress from the comps. That feels good.
Stress-free. Congratulations.
It's going to be such a good show, so I'm so looking forward to watch everybody with this good snow. They're going to send it crazy. Thank you, guys.
Huge congratulations, Victor de la Rue, the Freeride World Tour champion. Snowboard men done and dusted. Still 3 categories to go. Stay glued to your seat because we are coming right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. I'm Derek Foos, joined by Hadley Hammer, and it is time for Ski Men, the Freeride World Tour title up for grabs, and it's going to be one of these 3 guys that's going to take it. Ben Richards, Toby Rafford, Ross Tester. Mathematically, the only 3 that have a chance. Hadley, it's tense up here between the nubs.
It is tense. It's the only thing that can win, and they're also the 3 best friends on the tour. So you really have that play of competitors against friendship. They all want to win.
Everybody wants to win. The snow conditions are absolute perfection today on the Bec des Rosses, the entire Quatre Vallées in Verbier. Here's where we sit right now with our overall rankings. Toby Rafford on top. Ben Richards just behind by a scanned 800 points, and Ross Tester still in touch on 17,000. We go all the way down. You can see the cut line. Finn Powell, the Kiwi rookie, making it in, locking in his position for next year and getting to ski on the back. And today, that feels like a treat.
For sure, definitely a treat. And we see the rest of the men not able to re-qualify for next year. Some do have a chance to go back to the Challenger Series. But today, it's all about the Bec. The start list here in front of you, again, like the snowboard men, reverse order from the current standing. So Finn will be able to, in his year, light up the Bec for the first time, and then it will get heated at the end. Ross, Ben, and Toby all able to be champions.
Back to back to back as the last 3 riders on the face. building up. Here we see the Peak Performance Fun Bet fan favorites. Ben Richards with a huge margin there. 78% of you feeling that he will find himself on the podium. Toby Rafford and Max Hitzig, the other three. So the Peak Performance Fun Bet, your opportunity to get some skin in the game. It is fantasy free ride. So hopefully you've got your votes locked in as we're looking down at this imposing start gate here at the top of the Petit Bec. We're unable to start from the top of the Big Bec as we saw in the piece earlier. Just a little too sharky, a little bit too rocky as we are dropping straight in. Finn Powell, the Kiwi rookie, he has made a huge impact on the Freeride World Tour. He was a standout as a junior, and he is off at a start two with a handful of speed.
Off and cooking. You know, anyone can be, or there's only 3 men that can be an FWT champ this year, but anyone can win on the Bec, including this young boy out of New Zealand, and he has got some electricity under his feet. Massive three, bit of a backslap, but still continuing down the Bec de Ross.
Well, Finn is bringing the intensity here as he motors in and a double backflip. Can he pull it off? And he does! Yes, Finn Powell!
That's gotta feel good.
And that feature took so many riders down trying double backflips last season. Finn this morning was he was full of gratitude at face check. He's like, I can't believe I get to be here. I can't believe I get to do this. I feel like I have no pressure on me whatsoever, so I just want to do something that I feel proud of. And Finn Powell has just done that for the entire Kiwi freeride community. That was just a huge boost. The Hover Air line tracker, full line attack mode for Finn Powell.
Exactly. Let's go back and check this out. He came in smoking. This is just a huge committed three. He did land a little bit backseat, a little bit of a backslap, but then this, as you said, so many guys tried this last year with 0 success, and Finn straight 4-point landing.
And if you watch, after he lands, he immediately pops back into the air with just pure joy. Boom, right there. A shifty, that was for the people. Finn Powell just opening up this category with a fireworks run. And I hope he feels good about that, because everyone who knows Finn is just out of their seats right now with just boiling stoked. There's the big smile. Finn Powell lighting us up at an 88.67 for the first man down. If this is a tale of what's in store from ski men, we are in for a show here as the New Zealand rider opening up with a bang. Oh, what an impressive way to start.
If you're not entertained already, I don't know what is wrong with you. This is going to be an exciting day.
Oh, that was just incredible. So Finn Powell takes over the hot seat, first run down in the high 80s. We are back up, and we're going all the way up to start three. The next rider in the gate, a young Canadian rookie coming out of Invermere, riding at Lake Louise out of that Ular Big Mountain Club. Jack Kolesh, he's been coaching freeride at the same time as competing at freeride, finding himself on the tour, making the cut. This young man, an absolutely electric skier, and right out of the gate into the steepest part of the venue.
He looks really comfortable in the steeps. You know, such a good season for his rookie year. Always around that top 10, top 7. Really strong riding as you see his lining up. That first air, really committed. Looks like he's going for a bit of a double.
Oh yeah, giving himself another feature with a 360 way up high on the face over all kinds of exposure. So Jack Kolesh going full commitment for his first trip down the back. Coming in here, launching a backflip. No, not able to hold on. And tomahawking down the back. Well, it was full commitment there for Jack.
It sure was. Gear littered across the face. As we said, the Bec is steep and has a lot of fall line. We have that wave that he is okay. That top section, super impressive.
Yeah, Jack Kolesh, even when things come undone for him, it's always in something really impressive. And it's those moments of you can see the flashes of the potential in this man. There are podium runs, there are winning runs in his skill set. As a rookie, sometimes you do have to figure out just exactly how hard to push, and the line can be a little blurry.
Exactly, and you know, It's also all new, the traveling. You're with a bunch of people, you're in Europe, you don't really always know where you are, where you're gonna get breakfast. And all of that does play a part of how these athletes work and how it affects their competition day.
Yeah, but a huge amount of credit there to Jack for just that committed approach. I mean, the first time on the back and going absolutely all in, pushed the chips into the middle of the table and said, I'm in for this, as we take a look back at this replay, Hadley.
I mean, again, the top, so committed, perfect 3, just great landing above, huge exposure, really good solid technique, and then just massive, maybe a little too massive.
Yeah, you could see both skis, both feet sank under the snow on the landing of that backflip and then into the punch front. And he did have his trajectory lined up between the 2 rock faces. So luckily the cartwheel down the face put him in between the rocks, so no danger of going over it. Well, I mean, there's always danger. We've got our man in the hot seat, Finn Powell, with an electric start to the ski men's category. Finn, describe that run to us.
I mean, I'm unbelievably stoked to have finally put down a run after a couple crashes, and to open the field up in that way, it feels really good. Yeah, the conditions up there after the choke became pretty all-time. I mean, I don't think I've skied much snow better than this, and yeah, it's going to make for a great event.
How did it feel? You know, last year so many men tried to do that double backflip with 0 success. What was your mindset going into it this year, knowing like, okay, it's not a guarantee, but I think I can do it?
To be honest, I just approached it in a way to have fun, and that line from what the boys did last year really stood out to me, and it looked like something that I wanted to do. So personally, I didn't worry if it was going to work or not. I just wanted to do it for me.
Well, you did it for you, but we also got to enjoy it, and we loved watching it. Congratulations, and enjoy that hot seat.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, well, Finn Powell sitting in the hot seat, Jack Kolesh up on the face, collecting his equipment after a solid attempt. First run down the back, absolutely going for it. So he's getting reunited with his equipment. He's okay. We saw the arm wave. And I love that attitude from Finn. He wanted to do it for himself. You know, the pressure of the cut and everything was off, and he felt like it stood out to him. I think that's a great way to go into these events.
Yeah, remembering to have fun and to ski to things that really inspire you. You know, I think as an athlete, they have so much information these days, so much historical video footage, drone footage, and they can kind of get lost in playing the game too much. And then you see these athletes that just find what speaks to their soul, what speaks to their skiing, and that often leads to a lot of success.
Well, and certainly Finn Powell finding success there. A high 80s score, first run of the day for ski men. Doing it for the whole Kiwi freeride community, which is just, I mean, they just continue to deliver world-class athletes out of that Kiwi freeride community across the board. But we are back up to the top. There's no rest at the Eddie Xtreme Verbier as the Spanish hero Abel Moga out of the gate and straight into it on start 1.
Straight into it, and we're just counting the seconds till we see our first front flip out of the Spaniard. And here he is lining up in front of this massive cliff.
And clearing the entire thing. He's going for the Navarro La Bamba double. He's got it. Can he hold on? He does. Abel Moga getting back into control to launch a backflip. Whoa. Edge of your seat stuff from the Spanish superhero.
I don't think we saw one turn in there besides his first starting turn of the day. That was a quick run down the back with a lot of airtime.
You can see shades of his mentor, Aymar Navarro, in that run. Full fall line approach, and Abel has taken everything he learned from Aymar and he's just applying it. He's added the freestyle piece as well with that backflip. I mean, that run was just, look at the hover air line tracker. He had to dip a little bit out to the skier's left to begin, and then whoa, absolute fall line attack. And it looked like he had to fight for it, Hadley, as we relook at the replay.
Yeah, let's check back. He had to fight for it and also skirt around some rocks there. You see he lands, bounces. That's the gym strength that you needed all summer. And yeah, just bouncing around those rocks and straight. Maybe had a time to take a breath into that backflip.
Yeah, straight out of this left foot turn, he gets the direction and then immediately sets the rotation, finding perfect trajectory to land in fresh powder. So with all of that going on, with the world just erupting around him, still able to direct himself into a clean landing.
You can see him catching his breath as the score comes in. How will it stack?
Well, it goes to an 81-3-3 for Abel Moga, so he moves into second. The precision scalpel-like approach of Finn Powell, unable to be eclipsed by the rodeo ride of Abel Moga, but both so much fun. And almost forget about the scores. This is just so much fun to watch. Back up to the top, we go from strength to strength. Peak performance rider Wei Tian Ho coming out of Whistler, 21 years old. He's a threat to the podium. He's coming off of a win on this face last year, so we know the Whistler Freeride Club alumni knows how to get it done on this face, but coming back up, is it more pressure or more stoked that you've done it before?
I think, you know, he's had 2 hard crashes, unlucky crashes this year, and I think he's just ready to put one down, and he knows he can win. One of the most beautiful riders to watch on the tour for sure.
All right, well, entering this double, going fall line, absolutely picture perfect skiing so far for Wei Tian Ho, finding this windlet but staying up high on it as he rides down towards the end of this spine. And an enormous backflip, clearing the rocks, back in control, fall line off the nose. Oh, immaculate free ride from Wei Tian Ho.
What a double. You can see in his body language he was so pumped, so excited, arms crossing. He should be on high right now. That was a beautiful run. I mean, he's just so nice to watch and so technically precise.
You're so sick. How did you get that double?
Well, those are the moments that we just live for.
Love you, bro.
The hover air line tracker showing Wei Tian's approach. Let's take a look, Hadley, at this replay.
You can just see he's got such a strong skill set in actual skiing and turning, and he puts that into places that where turning is so specific. That double he did required absolute precision out of this huge backflip and then straight onto that downhill ski right into the second air. That takes so much technique to pull off.
The precision, I mean, he floats over all of these rocks, and then he's got to get on that left foot immediately to turn it into a double. And the judges, when you do a double, there's added points, line score, technicality, all of those things. Tricking into a double is next level. So the score to beat right now, 88.67, Wei Tian score, climbing up, it's a 91.67. The look on his face says it all. Wei Tian Ho has done it again on the back.
I think this mountain is made for him. You know, it's the perfect place where you need strong technique and then add in all of his skill set around tricks. It's perfect. The Bec de Ross and Wei Tian back together again.
All right, well, here we go. Wei Tian Ho, Finn Powell, Abel Moga. That is your 1, 2, 3. And we are only 4 guys into the field, and we've seen that. And straight back up to the top, another man who has won on the Bec. Wei Tian's childhood best friend, Marcus Goguen, also riding out of Whistler. He's another one who can do it on this face. He's way over there in start 3, so he and Wei Tian opting for different starts here. Marcus really, he was looking at the other side saying, I got to go over there. That's where I need to be. So Marcus Goguen winning on the Bec 2 years ago, overall Freeride World Tour champion last year, and he is out of the gate straight away into the air.
Keep your eyes peeled. I'm sure this one will go quick as Marcus enjoying some opening turns straight into a 3 high on the venue.
All right, well, the intensity building as Marcus Goguen, he is skiing over an enormous chunk of exposure. As he comes down, there is a piece of terrain below him named after him, the Marcus Goguen double. and he is going back to the well that delivered his win. Look at this. Hadley entering into it slowly off the second one. Oh, perfect landing for Marcus Gogan as he goes back again to what he delivered his win on the back in 2024. I'm speechless.
Yeah, you know, it's always interesting talking to the athletes, seeing how they're feeling. He kind of had this curious smile on morning. He felt really comfortable. I think knowing that he knew where he was going, what he wanted to do. He said, you know, I only have plan A today. A lot of the other athletes had multiple plans, and he said, I just want to visualize one run, and that's it, and that's what I'm going to do.
Well, we're going to take a look here at the Hover Air line tracker, absolute fall line. That feature has only been hit once before. Now it's been hit twice, and both times by the same person. Marcus going back to the feature that was named after him as we look, going 360 up high above all that exposure as we see the judging criteria just lit up like a Christmas tree. And then this double, that landing pad is so short.
It really is. The speed in which you have to enter into that is so precise because you don't want to go too fast and miss that pad, which is very possible with how small it is.
Yeah, if you overshoot it, it's just instant doom. So Marcus Gogan now, the judges are going to have to work hard on that one as the two runs that are in first and second have both been just absolutely spectacular. That was also spectacular. Ski men really bringing it. We've had a few events, Hadley, where the ski men have just been like cartwheeling down faces all over the planet. Yeah. So to see them just really bringing it today is inspiring.
Yeah, a lot of crashes this year, and I think the men are ready to really show their skill set, which creates, you know, they have to move on that barometer of how far they're pushing because you want to push, but you don't want to crash.
Yeah, exactly. And seeing now these two boys that grew up together in the Whistler Freeride Club, competing as juniors together, you know, mountain biking together, sleepovers as kids, and now they're standing at the bottom of the back, both executing their runs exactly to plan. As we wait for the score, you can see the crowd just heaving out here, and that's just one of the areas that people are watching from. It's so much fun to just catch the vibe in Verbier.
It really is. Everyone's catching the vibe and the sun, and the judges are going to work. They are checking the different scores, looking at what the former guys just did. Also, with these 3 starts, their job isn't easy. You know, they have to judge is what start 3 versus start 1 and 2 and how that affects the scores, what's more difficult, what has more exposure, what requires more commitment. It's not an easy task.
Every single time we sit in this commentary booth at one of these events, I'm so grateful to be where we are and not sitting in that judges tent, because what they have to do now, especially in these events where everybody delivers plan A and is able to do exactly what they hope to do, it's so tough. And so they've got to really just line it up against the criteria, against the other runs, and figure it out.
Yeah, he freed like the air that we were heading after the main closeout, and then dub. Damn. Stone. It's crazy.
Cool. That is crazy. Well, we've got Wei Chen score the 91.67. Marcus coming in 89.67. So sliding in just behind his best buddy, the two childhood friends, sitting 1-2 in Verbier right now. But of course, nothing is done.
Yeah, we're not even halfway done here.
And we this is just incredible. This is what we were hoping to see out of this field, as we have Wei Chen Ho, Marcus Gogan, Finn Powell sitting 1, 2, and 3. And we are back up to the top to another local rider. Liam Rivera did it. Can this man do it? Victor Hale Woods, also growing up here in Verbier, also a rookie on the Freeride World Tour. I had a good chance to catch up with him this morning about competing at home, and he felt no pressure at all, just the good vibes of the community behind him. He was so excited. He said, I've been dreaming about this since I've been a small boy.
Yeah, you've seen all season he has such a good head on his shoulders, getting 2 6th places for your rookie season. So impressive as he comes into this huge double. Oh!
Turning it into a double with a full speed attack, and look at what he did that above all of those rocks, this huge piece of terrain, a huge backflip right off the nose, bringing it around.
Oh.
And unfortunately, the same result as Jack Kulish. Oh, just clearing the rock there in his tumble. Same feature, same result. It's hard to tell if he landed in the landing track that Jack made or if that one, both hands in the air. So Victor's okay. And his first trip down the back in a competition bib, ending with a wave and a smile as he looks back up, skis strewn above. Whew.
Yeah, you know, I think that snow right in there is pretty tricky. It's got a depth and a density that's not as supportive as the rest of the venue. The rest of the venue has a little bit less snow, so there's a little less to come through. We'll see how it continues the rest of the day, but such strong riding from Victor, you know, as we see from the top, turning this top section into a double. So creative and so committing.
Yeah, high intensity, and he gets on that right ski, and now approaching this nose, so he lays out the backflip. He's coming around. Oh, I think he landed right in Jack Kulish's landing hole. And I wonder if, because Hadley, this is so steep, I wonder if they're traveling, do you think they're traveling further than they're expecting to on that flip?
It looks like it. It looks like they have a lot more hang time than they maybe anticipate.
I mean, this mountain is so steep, and a takeoff like that that's dead flat, it puts you out, and then the ground just plummets away.
Exactly. You can see the riders on that ridge. I mean, Derek, it is wild where some of these riders start their day. It's such an intense place to be. You're looking at all these huge mountains. You don't have a lot of room to stand. You're on this knife edge ridge. That alone creates quite a sensation before you even drop into the face.
All right, well, looking like Joey Leonardo, the next man out of the gate. He's riding out of Colorado. He's dropping from a different start than Victor was, so Victor can clean up his mess while Joey Leonardo drops in and gets things going at a start one. Another rookie. The rookies have really been on the rise, and Joey Leonardo popping in and getting things going out of start one in this perfect snow condition.
Yeah, you know, he showed what he has with the second place in Valto, and we see it again as he laces through these rocks, creating mini doubles. Great skiing technique out of the Montana rider.
So Joey Leonardo popping high up on the face, and below him this just cluster of rock looming. There's a opportunity for a double as Joey airing in, and then this buttress with a 360. Oh! And the snow so deep there. Immediate punch front taking his ski going for a wild ride down into the exposure below. Joey luckily able to self-arrest there. The snow conditions on the face are I don't want to say difficult because they're perfect, but it is difficult to know exactly how to land.
Yeah, for sure. Variable, we could say. Perfectly variable.
Yeah, exactly. So Joey Leonardo, I think the wind has had a little bit more effect over on this skier's left, looker's right section, and you could see the punch effect there as Joey's going to hike up for his ski. He's okay. If you're watching at home and you're friends with Joey, he's all right.
He is all right. We'll see. Back to the start of his run, really just calm, smooth way to start the run. You would have no idea he's on the top of the pack.
Well, I love this move. He enters in, sets the 360, and Hadley, take a look. Oh, yeah, immediately both skis gone.
Yeah, they really just parked right in place, and he kept on going. We see he's collected his top ski. His other ski is below him. Not the day that he wanted, but certainly a season for a rookie to be proud of. Getting on the podium your rookie year feels good.
Getting on the podium, making the cut into finals. We're going to see Joey on tour all next year, so he's going to have an opportunity to bring all that Joey Leonardo energy to the 2027 Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance. So exciting for this young rookie. And, you know, these riders, they do really have to balance the full send with an approach that is doable. And I feel in this ski men, no, I can't even apply it to ski men. Across all four fields, you really have to go all in if you want to find yourself on the podium.
You really do. There's no taking a safety line at any of these stops.
All right, well, from rookie to one of the biggest of the big dogs, Max Hitzig in the gate, the German rider, 2024 Freeride World Tour champion, took last season off to recover from a broken back, and now he says he's at 100%. We've seen flashes of Max Hitzig. He's got 2 fourth places and then a pretty big crash in the last event, unfortunately, in Alaska, joining the crew of people that were not quite able to put it together. But we've seen him with electric performances on this face, and I feel like this kind of terrain is where Max Hitzig shines.
For sure. I mean, it's always a challenge once you take a year off the tour, coming back on, getting back in that mindset, and also realizing everyone around you has gotten so good. But Max is able to match that, and we'll see as he enters in with heat into this first air.
Flying over that enormous opening cliff, and Max Hitzig, in his trademark way, just making it almost look easy. He's going so fast through this incredibly technical terrain and going way out to the rider's left above so much exposure. He's got this huge cliff, launching a backflip, landing perfectly in the powder. So Max Hitzig starting us off with a bang here.
Bang, and straight into that closeout. It almost looks like he doesn't take off the way that he lands so solidly. Setting up.
Transferring over that entire bottom section from that setback takeoff with a 360. That landing is quite flat where Max Hitzig went, but with using the powder to his advantage, going way in there, you can see the snow just erupt over his head. So Max Hitzig putting one down. The boys came to play today.
They definitely did. Max is...
Good shit saying. Holy shit, watching from the other side. Could you see the run? Yeah.
So the hover air line tracker there, Max. Fall line a little across and then fall line again with some of the biggest moves we've seen of the day. It's great listening to the two of them catch up. Wei Tian in the hot seat and Hitzig just finishing up an absolutely incredible run.
And you know what? Max showed his strength, and hopefully we see it, is he moves with intention. So even if he moves across the fall line, you don't get bored. He's going quickly and powerfully, and that's a really key skill here. You'll see this classic big backflip, great landing as he just gets right back on that downhill ski, turning once again.
Yeah, he's so powerful, and that bottom air is quite flat, but Max Hitzig just making short work of it. And then this transfer, he's got so much speed, popping over the rocks with huge 360, a little bit of a back touch there. The judges are going to notice that. They're picking the details. But I love the eye to scope that. It's only the slightest bit of rise in the terrain, and Hitzig able to turn that into something electric.
Yeah, really turning nothing into something is quite a skill for Max Hitzig. As the score comes in,
a 90.33 for Max Hitzig. So he goes into second place just behind Wei Tian Ho. So the judges absolutely loving the attacking approach of the German rider. So Wei Tian, Max Hitzig, Marcus Goguen, your top 3 so far, as we still have 5 more men to go. So all still to play for, as another German rider, Timo Rollshoven, riding for peak performance, and looks like he's dropping in at a start. Look at the smile on his face. This man is just taking in the moment and really enjoying where he is.
For sure, such a positive attitude. You know, he was only able to do 2 comps this year, missing 1 because of school, and getting 5th place at both, showing that he can just show up and ride. And as we see, starting the comp with a 360 high off the venue and making his way down as the snow is cascading around him. Perfect backflip.
Wow, well, Timo, he is bringing it now, that exposed high move up top, getting into this section where we saw Joey Leonardo have some trouble. Can Timo make it work? He does. Perfect connection with the transition, and still more to come below from Timo Rollshoven.
Look how steep that is, Derek. Holy moly, what a run out of this young German.
Spectacular riding from Timo Rollshoven, going over, and I have to wonder, I gotta ask you, on a feature that another rider had a big crash on. Does it inspire the judges? Does it inspire the scores when somebody is able to make it work?
Absolutely. You know, I think that comparison is key. Seeing someone do what someone else couldn't do before.
What the fuck you bro? That was so clean. That was nasty.
Clean indeed. I really think there wasn't, as Derek likes to say, a snowflake out of place for Timo's run. Great fall line skiing, a lot of fun tricks, and perfect precision.
And a lot of features there stacked up for Timo Roelschoven, as he had the freestyle, he had the pure free ride, all of the pieces in place for Timo.
And a lot of features with a lot of exposure. Every one of these airs needed to go perfectly, and he did it. He landed, would get on that bottom ski, make a nice turn, and just go for the next hit.
So Timo landing that air on with the 360 and coming down, and the precision required on that one. That was a big drop, as you could see the drone follow. Now we get the front hand view, and there's a nice ramp there for him to land on.
That was really good scoping from the athlete, for sure.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right, well, the score to beat, 91.67. Timo's score going way up at 93. Timo Roelschoven taking over the hot seat with that incredible chip down the back.
He can't believe it.
Unbelievable. A big hug from the two peak performance athletes as they have both just laid down perfect runs. The next generation really rising up here as Timo Roelschoven has drawn his paintbrush down the canvas on the back and taking over the hot seat. We have to mention, Timo made the cut with one event. He wasn't able to show up in Spain because he had an engineering exam. He showed up in Val Thorens, landed in 5th place, made the cut with that single event, and now is sitting in the hot seat at the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. What a season for this young man.
And we are right back up, coming off of a 2nd place in Alaska. Hugo Troubeau, he is hungry and motivated.
Yeah, a rookie season, but he has been riding like a veteran. His run in Alaska, absolutely inspiring. The Les Arcs rider kicking out of start number 3 and immediately into the exposure as he gets things going.
Coming in 4th overall, sitting in 4th with a massive high-speed double. Starting off with full heat, again, making his way with intention and speed across the back.
Yeah, full speed approach for Hugo Troubeau, getting way, way out to the rider's left into a bit of an untapped zone here, and we're going to see him point at fall line at some point, floating a 360, just managing to hold on. He had to really get his core engaged, and Hugo Troubeau, another perfect landing, so he is stacking up the line score as well.
Stacking up huge super G turns as he makes his way down to the finish line. Hands raised, he is content and happy.
Oh, well, these riders just pushing the limits, as we saw him taking a very similar approach to that of Max Hitzeg. So Hugo Troubeau with just a standout rookie season, the highest ranked ski man rookie in the entire field, and incredible run from the French rider as well. Ski man really delivering today.
You know, you really feel the camaraderie. These guys want to beat each other, but they're also so supportive. It's a really wonderful sport for that reason, and I think really unique in that way.
It sure is. As we look at the replay, Hugo taking this fall line approach, turning that into a double, no turns off that huge air, and keeping it going. He gets on that right foot, and it's just such a clean getaway out of that feature.
Yeah, and then again, he put in his own track, the first one to go over there, which takes, you know, you have to work with the speed, work with the snow, but no problem for the French rider.
Yeah, and adding some Aaron style points there. The judges love it when you're able to throw a trick, even something as simple as a shifty. It shows you're in complete control of your body and your skis while you're in the air.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's the artistic touch to all of this.
Bonne saison finie.
A good season finished.
Great way to finish for Ugo. So the judge is really getting to work. And these are the comps that just live in our memory banks, where the whole field is delivering right to their full potential. You know, we've seen a couple riders step a little bit over the line, but many riders finding that balance between not enough and too much, and going full throttle, full attack on the back, and the snow conditions really playing to the rider's strengths today.
Told you, you know, I think the Beck is so extreme, it's so steep, it's so difficult. It requires so much respect that I think the riders, as a result, their skiing is great because they give the same respect back.
Yeah, they have to bring their full A game in technique, in line selection, in all of the pieces. And then when it's time to go, you can just kind of turn your brain off and let your body take over and just deliver. And with the snow conditions being just perfection today, we're getting treated to a spectacular show.
You can see Timo in the hot seat. Maybe he's going to apply some of that biotherm sunscreen with this beautiful weather that we also lucked out. There's storms all last week, storms all next week. We're super grateful here in Verbier to have some sunshine.
Yeah, first possible day of competition in the weather window, coming out absolutely gorgeous. We've got the sun, we've got the snow, we've got the riders on their game, everything coming together here for a magical performance here at the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. The score coming in for Ugo Trubat, an 89.93. So Ugo going into fourth and eclipsing the run of Marcus Goguen. So that double, the giant Goguen double, the judges not really having it today. Ugo Trubat into fourth, Marcus Goguen down to fifth. And Max Hitzig, Wei Tianho, and Timo Rollshoven, the men sitting on the podium as we now move into the three riders that can land themselves on the top of the pile. The first one, Ross Tester, riding out of Snowbird Alta in Utah. I mean, you look at his best ever results. First here, first there, first everywhere. Ross Tester, the man just built for freeride. Perfect technique, incredible boldness in line selection, incredible freestyle. And Ross getting right into it at absolutely full speed.
Full speed, making these great turns right at the top into this closeout, lofting a 360 with a perfect landing.
Wow, that upper deck. We don't see many people tricking that closeout, but Ross Tester built for this as he gets over, going cork 7 over the rocks. Oh, not able to hold it. Looked like he bounced in about the best possible place that he could have in between and Ross is upset. He wanted that. Cork 7 at 1,000 miles an hour. He's pointing at his ski. He can see it. Ross Tester completely committed to that run.
He's waving his hands at the okay, but also out of frustration. You know, Ross is such an impressive skier. He dances down these mountains. As you can see, it's so light on his feet. That first air lofted a 3, and then you can see coming in, setting up for this 7, clearing the rocks. I think his feet were just a little too wide in that snow, a little too deep, and a little bit not fully finished.
Yeah, just the rotation maybe a little too much. It's so hard for these riders to know when you're setting a trick with that many rotations, how hard to set it. He's going so fast, and we have to give them so much credit because keep in mind they've never hit these features.
Yeah.
They've never even stood on the lip of them. So to set a cork 7 off something like that, it's so bold, and it's rare that we see these superhero athletes make mistakes, but the margin is so slim.
It really is. This is not a park course. These are not shaped jumps. This is all natural features, not ridden before.
Sacha,
so with this crash, it means that our next two riders will be fighting it out. Ben Richards, Toby Radford, best friends. Will they be after today? We'll see.
Yeah, Ross Tester, if he was going to win the world title, he needed to win today. So not the day that Ross Tester was hoping for, but going down swinging, opting for a cork 7 high above the exposure on the Bec des Rosses. It just incredible moments here as the tension just building and building here in ski men. We saw it in snowboard men. The next two riders, Ben Richards and Toby Rafford, will be dropping from start 3. So we're going to be able to roll on with the competition as Ross collects his equipment and makes his way down the face. Ben Richards, first, fourth. He has had a season, and let's not forget the FIS Freeride World Champion as well in Andorra. He's going to be looking to channel those winning ways and put down a run for the ages here on the Bec as Ben Richards getting ready to do it. We've already seen one Kiwi with an electric run today. Ben Richards on course now, pushing out of start number 3.
The smoothest rider on the tour. Rarely does a leg or an arm go slightly out of place as Ben lines up this first huge 360, perfectly stomped as if he was just, booping around.
And getting a 360 off the wind lip above all that exposure, straight into another air. Ben Richards not even hesitating a bit as he comes into this lower air, full speed. He's got, his skis, he's all good. Ben Richards, he is the GOAT for a reason as he's got this long transfer that we saw Hitzig take, executing to perfection. Timo Rollshoven on the bottom corner of your screen, watching on from the hot seat. His adrenaline's got to be spiking almost as high as Ben's is right now.
Yeah, Ben makes everything look so easy, but ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing easy about skiing down the Bec at all. Big hugs down. A great run from the Kiwi. Beautiful. We see with this hover airline tracker, he moved with intention, with purpose, down the venue, going back up. Let's check out the replay, starting off, which is the massive 3 above exposure. And so simple for Ben.
And that wind lip that we saw other people just absorb, Ben going left 3, right into another rock air, and then flying off this cliff. Maximum velocity. Look at the judges' bars, just maxed absolutely out to their limit, taking this one. And we saw Max Hitzig with a pretty big bobble on this feature. No issue for Ben Richards as he is back to his, the just perfection of that run. It cannot be overstated. So the score already dropping, the judges having their say. 96 points for Ben Richards as he moves into the hot seat, and the crowd absolutely frothing.
The crowd knows before Ben even could register what happened, taking over the hot seat, making for a spicy end of the day. What will happen? Ben's used to getting first, but Toby is coming off of first place in Alaska. Will he use that energy to get first again today?
Yeah, Ben wants to be Freeride World Tour champion. He has done his part now. We've got Wei Tian Ho in third, Timo Rollshoven in second, Ben Richards sitting on top. The man coming into this event in the lead is in the start gate now at start number 3. It is Toby Rafford coming off that win in Alaska. He has delivered some of the most memorable moments on the Freeride World Tour in 2026, and he is ready to go in the start. Sun Valley, Idaho's own Toby Rafford.
Toby got third on the Bec last year. He knows how to podium on this mountain. The pressure is on, and I think he's got to be feeling it.
So Toby's mic'd up. You can hear the sounds his ski's making on the snow. If he talks to himself, we're going to hear it as he enters his run. Immediately 360 off that upper feature, landing clean, and now full speed. Oh, you can hear the little giggles there. I love this mic'd up feature that we've got on the riders.
Toby making his way down, the enormity of this double below him that we saw Marcus go. 1, 2.
And landing perfectly, Toby, just with that little hint of a giggle, coming down now into the apron. And we saw with the scores from Marcus that the judges were not as enthusiastic about that double as they have been in the past. So we'll see how that's going to score, especially given how packed with features Ben Richards' run was.
It really was. But I mean, can we take a moment? How many people go to work and giggle all day?
What the fuck? That's insane. What? Oh, I fucking love it.
Oh, the love all around.
Oh, I hit the rocks on the second one. Just got so scary. Oh.
Well, let's take a look here. The Hover Air line tracker showing that fall line approach. So Toby with the big 360 up high and then going down to the Gogan double. He said he hit the rocks on the pad. You have to go so slow as we take a look back at the replay.
Yeah, let's check this first massive first air and classic Toby style, lofting that 3. And again, here is that double that requires such precision and speed. 1 and woo, it definitely sent him for a little bit of a ride, but Toby, like a cat, out of the bag in there. Ben stoked for his friend, but as you said, the judges didn't love Gogan's run as much, so let's see what happens.
Toby did have the 360 on that big air up high that Marcus didn't do. So Toby Rafford and Ben Richards standing together now, waiting for the score. The judges have spoken to 96, the score to beat. He pops up to a 94.67. So Toby Rafford into second place.
They don't know.
Well, now we know that Ben Richards is the champion on the back. We've got to get the math done behind the scenes to see what that's going to do to the overall. Well, these 3 men absolutely putting on a clinic out here. Let's take a look here. This is today's scoreboard.
Today's winner, Ben Richards, matching the snowboard score of a 96 here on the back. Toby right behind with a 94.67. We'll let someone else do the math to see who's going to be the overall champ. But Timo coming in with just 2 comps the whole season for a 3rd place and a spectacular run here on the back.
Well, listening to the chat there, Timo Rolshoven with bronze, Toby Rafford with the silver, and Ben Richards back to his winning ways here on the Bec des Rosses, the Yeti Xtreme Verbier ski men delivering fireworks as we look here at the backdrop, and we're just anxiously waiting to see the overall Ben Richards taking the Freeride World Tour title as the Freeride World Tour champion. Toby Rafford by 750 points, incredibly close in the overall there.
And Ross Tester sealing 3rd place. These boys are incredible. What a show. We love it when it comes down to the Verbier to determine the results.
Well, we are going to go down to the finish where we have the Yeti Xtreme Verbier champion and our overall Freeride World Tour champion, Ben Richards. Describe how you're feeling right now.
Yeah, can't wait to watch the ladies crush it as well.
All right, well, huge congratulations. Your 2026 Freeride World Tour champion, Ben Richards, winning on the back and getting it done. Massive congrats to Ben, as we have just witnessed one of the most exciting events that we have seen on the back. Still 2 categories to go. Keep your seatbelt buckled. We are going to come back to you right after this with ski women, snowboard women. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. titles up for grabs once again in this category. I'm Derek Booth, joined by Hadley Hammer, bringing you all the action today, and ski women ready to put on a show.
This is the category after my own heart, and the field is wide open. Any one of these women can win today. Again, it's going to be such an exciting way to have this comp. We love it when it comes down to the Beck to determine our champion.
Yeah, and the snow conditions are absolute perfection today. The women are amped up and ready to go. They've just watched the two men's divisions, snowboard and ski, absolutely pop off. Do you think for the ladies that were watching that's going to bring the inspiration level up? As we take a look here, Sybille Blanchon, local rider from right here in Verbier, sitting on top of the pile, and then a whole bunch of rookies below, Luberin, Zoe Del Zoppo, and Agostina Vietti. Justine Dufour-Lapointe, last year's Freeride World Tour champion, chasing the pack, but she wants to do something inspiring here. And then Winter McBride. So many, as you said, Hadley, everybody today with the right combination of results can win the Freeride World Tour title.
Yeah, I think it's such a cool way to enter into this comp. So again, reverse start list to the standing order. Winter will open it up, followed by Justine, and then again that stack of impressive rookies, and then the hometown hero sitting in place will have to defend herself, dropping in last for the category.
Yeah, and I feel from Sybille's point of view, she has won here before. We see here 87% of you feeling in the Peak Performance Fun Bet fan favorites that Justine Dufour-Lapointe will land on the podium. 76% betting on Sybille Blanchon, and the Argentinian rookie Agostina Vietti getting 46% of the vote. Peak Performance Fun Bet, your opportunity to get some skin in the game. It's fantasy freeride. Hopefully you got your bets in, because it's closed now that we are running, but there's everything up for grabs. The stakes could not be higher for the ski women's category.
They couldn't, but I think that, I think it's such a cool way to enter the comp. You could tell all of them were hungry. They all know, like, oh, if I just lock in, ski my best run, I can do this.
I can do this. And we have, of course, available a Freeride World Tour title available as Winter McBride, the rookie out of Ogden, Utah, shouting out to the friends up there. Michaela Davis-Meehan has been her good travel buddy. And Winter now dropping in for her first trip down the back out of start one.
We see her classic strong technique. This girl knows how to lay it over and really use her skis in the turns as she enters in with these two top airs at the top of the back. Her nerves probably are going.
Oh yeah, coming into this windlet feature, popping up and over, adding that style. She's always got the shifties and the grabs. Every time you see Winter ski, her skiing really speaks for itself though. She makes such good turns as she comes down, popping off that feature, keeping it nice and clean. She's in control, but steady and aggressive approach from Winter.
Exactly, still finding some fresh snow at the top of this, which means fresh landing below as she cruises her last air, and then, as you said, just enjoying the powder turns at the bottom, which has got to feel so good after you stand on top of the Petite Bec.
I mean, these conditions just couldn't be better. You can see both hands in the air. Winter McBride. Hadley, describe how intense it is for somebody new on the Freeride World Tour to find themselves standing at the top of the back.
I think it's really intense. These athletes, it's such the overall experience of being on the tour. There's so much travel, new venues for the North American riders, visual inspection. It's a lot to take in. Winter always takes it in with a smile.
The snow is so good.
And as she said, the snow is so good, which that's what you want on the back.
Well, Winter, part of that powerful Scott team, as we take a look here back at the replay, starting things off with an aggressive approach there, airing above all that exposure, and you can see it from the video judge there. The line high control absolutely maxed out. All of the pieces there for Winter McBride.
They really are. She found her own little takeoffs, her own, which guaranteed fresh landings. They know that the men's categories, snowboard and ski, have gone in, so finding fresh landings will be key for these women.
Oh, so fun.
I love that. Skiing for fun. So the score going up to a 76-point run for Winter McBride. The judges giving themselves a bit of space depending on what's to come, but a really, really strong effort there for Winter, opening up the ski women's field with a clean run, coming off a big crash after 90% of a fantastic run in Alaska. That's got to feel great for her to put that one down.
Absolutely. I love this trend of the rookies opening up the categories on the Bec de Ross. We really don't let them take any bit of chill.
No chill at all. And speaking of no chill, the next rider in the gate, Justine Dufour-Lapointe. She is our reigning Freeride World Tour champion, riding for peak performance, ready to go. She said she wants to do something that she will remember when she's an old lady. That was her goal for the day. So Justine Dufour-Lapointe getting right into it off the top, into the air, and starting things off very strong for Justine.
Very strong, moving with full intention, great air, keeping that ski in the fall line. She's improved so much over the years and really just pushing her limit every year.
Yeah, she's constantly learning. She's such a student of the sport, coming into freeride after that incredible Olympic mogul career and coming into a huge feature there, launching off, landing perfectly. Justine Dufour-Lapointe keeping things moving through this absolutely beautiful flank on the Petit Bec, and another big feature looming below her as Justine finding her entrance, a massive feature in the powder, and she lands it perfectly, hand in the air for Justine.
That took all the strength she's been building all season. A pretty flat landing, and there's a chance she doesn't
both her poles are gone.
Yeah, they definitely are. She left it all out there. She wanted to do something that she was proud of, and she certainly should be proud of that one.
That was ginormous.
Ginormous indeed. It was just Justine's birthday, and she thought this would be a great way to have a final present.
Well, our hover air line tracker showing that, I mean, the big air at the top, a huge air in the middle, and then that monster at the bottom that just blew her poles out of her hand. Didn't even slow her down. It took us a while to even clock that the poles were gone.
I love just the start, her entrance in, showing that full commitment of I'm not going to ski into it, I'm going to take an air, which requires a lot of technique and speed control afterwards to be able to hit this next cliff.
Yeah, that feature in the middle, and then we see her coming down, and this one ate up a couple of the ski men, going right off the nose, could not have taken that bigger, and barely even any impact, so she found the exact right transition, and then this was the linchpin, a huge air there, blasting into the powder. Both poles just vanished in the powder cloud, but no issue there in terms of control, just the loss of the poles. So Justine all smiles at the bottom.
Hi guys, salut tout le monde à la maison. C'est fou.
It is crazy.
This is maybe the quietest we've ever seen Justine. We're waiting for her to speak this time.
Oh, thank you, Verbier. That was a memory forever. Oh.
She deserves that. You know, she started off so strong this season with the first place and then 2 crashes afterwards. So she's feeling, I'm sure, relieved and so excited to have one to her feet. 79.67. That will put her right into first place, straight into that hot seat that she likes being in.
She does, yeah. The hot seat, hot takes from Justine Dufour-Lapointe have been a mainstay from the Freeride World Tour highlight reel. As we go back up, these start gates, all 3 of them so imposing, so intense for the riders as they're standing just on the knife edge, as we see the first Argentinian woman ever to take the start in a Freeride World Tour event. Now the first Argentinian woman to ever be holding the lead in the Freeride World Tour, first to win a Freeride World Tour event. She has had a season of first, riding out of Chapelco, Argentina, and out of start too with that trademark full speed approach for Agustina Vietti.
She's quickly become one of my favorite female riders to watch. So powerful, so strong, so fast, and not afraid to send it.
making that air above the exposure. So as we see looming down, the only way out of here is in the air, the closeout, and Agustina landing beautifully, getting on to that left foot. And the way she makes her turns is just so classic. Her skiing, again, like so many of these riders, really speaks for itself. And Agustina making short work of the upper section of the Petit Bec.
Continuing down, she's got this pretty big side air coming through, launching off, finding her own landing, which is perfect. You want those fresh tracks, avoiding the bomb holes, and you can see that ski instructor style as she cruises down the bottom of the venue.
Yeah, extremely fast run from top to bottom. Oh, and Agustina getting a little tail ollie shifty there, just adding her flair and her flavor to the bottom. It's probably a mate flavor maybe, as she's rarely to be seen without the mate cup in her hand. Argentina Freeride can rejoice. Agustina Vietti holding the nation on her shoulders. And another solid effort. Everybody really bringing their A game to the Bec today.
They really are. You see that hover air line tracker, straight fall line for the Argentinian rider. We'll go back, check out some of the highlights of her run. She's still finding some fresh snow. The amount of confidence you have going into that closeout to be able to go in at no hesitation, full speed. You see she makes that final air towards the bottom of the venue and lacing one of those beautiful turns of hers.
Yeah, and then again, finding her own way so she doesn't land in another rider's hole that they made when they landed. So Agustina proving she's got the veteran skills. Visual inspection only, Hadley. How difficult is it for the riders when they haven't stood on the edge of these takeoffs?
It's a huge skill to learn, and to be learning on the fly during the season, it definitely puts you at a different advantage compared to the riders from Europe that have done visual inspection pretty much their whole career.
Well, the Alpina viewing area just popping off down there as the spectators just coming out in droves. The trains into Verbier last night, into Le Chab, and the big jumbo this morning were absolutely packed with people just wanting to come and see this show firsthand. If you've never been here live in person, book it now because it books up fast. We want to see you here in 2027 as we see Justine Dufour-Lapointe in the hot seat and Agustina Vietti waiting for her score. Just looking back up at what she's just done, the accomplishment of a new rider on the tour just cannot be overstated.
Totally. You have the winner for multiple podiums against the new rookie who has also landed on the podium herself, showing that she can be there. She's totally qualified to stand in greatness.
Well, the spectators have been treated to an absolutely spectacular show here in Verbier today. The aerial view of that Alpina viewing area and the ridges in front of us also just packed with people everywhere you look. We've got fondue pots out here on the slopes. The locals just coming out in droves to take in the show. The snow is perfect. The weather is perfect. It's a little chilly, -15, but it's keeping the snow great. You just put on your Peak Performance puffy jacket and you are golden for spectating today. Well, Agustina just staying chill and quiet as we see her score popping in, and it goes to 77.5, so slotting in just behind Justine and into second with 3 riders to go halfway through Ski Women. And a big hug for the two of these ladies as they're so supportive of each other, but of course all hungry to win, and a win here in Verbier is a next level win. It really cements you into the Hall of Fame.
It does. You get a special place among freeriders that is well deserved after surviving the Bec.
All right, well, back to the action as we have another new rider on the tour. It is Zoe Del Zappo riding out of La Clusaz. She is French. She is new on the tour. She's a former freeride junior world champion, and she would love nothing more than to back up that junior title with a Freeride World Tour title.
She's gotten a second and a third place this year. She is hungry for that top spot. She has strong technical skills as you see her riding through this top 1 start that not many riders have gone through today, so she's setting her own track.
Yeah, way out here on the rider's left. It's steep, it's exposed. You can see what she's passing over. There's so much exposure below the riders. This face absolutely huge. And Zoe popping an air there. You can see the wind put a little bit of a skin on the top. Going double, clipping the rocks, but coming out of it clean. Zoe Del Zoppo with a really aggressive approach up here on the upper section of the Petit Bec.
Coming in with speed, will she hit what Justine did or enjoy the powder next to it? Finding her own way.
Different angle there with a really nice clean transition. And Zoe not having to slow down at all for that, as she now just enjoys the fruits of her labor as she is rapidly approaching the finish arch, and she is through. So another clean run from ski women, all of them with the elbows out, vying for that Freeride World Tour overall championship title.
Clean run and extremely fast as well. She made quick work of the Bec.
Hover Air line tracker, so a really different approach, and this is the beauty of freeride, is the riders have this entire face at their disposal. Where they want to go is entirely up to what speaks to them. Zoe up high on the face, going a completely different approach. You can see the powder not as deep, but really supportive here. So quite, I think, predictable for Zoe.
I think for sure, you know, we saw in start 2 and even aspects of start 3, the snow was so deep in spots and less. And as you said, start 1, because it was more wind affected, you knew what you were going to get. And this was a really cool way to find that landing, still take advantage of that quite massive cliff at the bottom.
Yeah, so Zoe adding a lot of pieces there into her line. The line score going to be high. She had that double that she almost went a little too long on. You can see she's trying to get a look at the monitor. Yeah, almost went a little long, kind of clipping the rocks, but she handled it.
She did handle it for sure. And the question will be, will she get that first place finish that she's been chasing and nearly touching all season long?
Yeah, and we've seen many riders in the field with that Junior Freeride World Championship title. They have a little bit of exposure to the big leagues. So the pressure that they feel there as juniors, they take that into the Freeride World Tour with maybe a little bit more experience at this level of competition. How important do you think that is for these riders when it comes to moments like this where it's really all on the line?
Yeah, I mean, I think the more competition experience you have, the better you are to handle everything around the competition. And it sounds like the judges are comparing for this top place, and it will be tricky, you know, 2 different starts, 2 different styles, big airs versus multiple airs.
Yeah, it's a tricky day for the judges as we're seeing all of the riders put down their A game on this venue. So comparing, the amplitude that we saw from Justine with those 2 enormous airs to Zoe, where she certainly had more features, and that big double that she managed to make work with, you know, you couldn't even call it an error because she managed to get to make it work.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the question is, Derek, would you rather compete on the Bec or judge the Bec?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, I think for my physical safety, I'd probably rather judge. As the score comes in and sliding just behind the score of Justine Dufour-Lapont. So Zoe Del Zoppo in that revolving door of second right now, moving in. So she has a podium spot right now, but nothing is guaranteed as we still have 2 heavy hitters up top. Here's where we sit right now. Justine Dufour-Lapont on top, Zoe Del Zoppo and Agostina Vietti, an international crew sitting in the top 3 in the ski women's category here at the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. The excitement just building and building. As we are running in reverse order, it only gets more intense as we go back up to the woman who sits in second overall. It is Lou Berlin. She's new to the tour this year, not new to high-level competition. She's an Olympian. She knows how the pressure feels, riding another one out of Val Thorens. They're just producing world-class riders. And Lou Berlin now kicking out of start 1 and getting things underway.
Hopefully she was able to take the skill and the standing of her brother, use that motivation and saying, you know what, I'm on my rookie season 2 and I can get on this podium, as we see her throwing a 360, using that wind lip to her advantage making the traverse far more interesting than if you just ski it.
Yeah, and she took the top feature as a double where we saw both Augustina and Winter go as a single, and another 360 off of the cliff. So Lou Belin really making a strong case for herself, coming down this final air, finding a clean landing. Lou Belin with 2 360s on the back. An incredibly powerful run for the young French rider. The judges are going to have their work cut out for them now.
They really are. This is just another element that they're going to have to use to compare to all the runs previously, but it's just so cool to see the progression of women throwing tricks, especially on venues like the Bec de Ros.
Well, that was huge. Justine. Oh, no, that's his. We've got all the friends out there. Zoe Del Zoppo running in to congratulate her countrywoman there. I love the spirit. Ski women is one of the most fun categories to watch. They're so supportive of each other, but the hunger in them to win, and you could see it. That was electric from Lou.
It really was. What was that, 2 360s? Again, we see her top entrance.
Taking it as a double.
Really impressive. And then this, again, if you're traversing but throwing in tricks, it just adds to the interest. It adds to the excitement of the day. The judges take note. And then another 360 and finding a clean landing.
Yeah, you could see the hole from another rider that she landed just beside. So trajectory absolutely perfect. And this one as well. There's a lot of tracks from other riders under that feature, but Lou finding, and then the reaction there from Zoe Del Zoppo, who's sitting in second right now. So I feel like really bringing up the air and style category, and the judges have already done their work, and that goes way up to a 95. A huge score for Lou Belin as she takes over the hot seat from Justine. That run, incredible, and the crowd loving it.
The crowd loves it. Justine loves it. That will mean that Justine is out for the title, but still on the podium right now as Lou takes the hot seat. 2 360s on the back for her rookie season. That is amazing.
Amazing. So she takes her spot in the hot seat. That's going to be a tough one to beat. 95 points. And the woman in the start gate, she's from right here in Verbier. She has won here before. We're getting the math from behind the scenes that she needs to be either first or second if she is to take the Freeride World Tour title today. So Sabile's got her work cut out for her, but she's won on this venue before. She knows how to do it. It's intense. We are really coming down to the final moments here in ski women.
We truly are. You can hear her. She is mic'd up, breathing deep, stomping those legs, getting them ready to probably land something quite large if we know Sabile.
Yeah, air right out of the start gate, so that just gets the judges' attention immediately as Sabile going out to the rider's right where there are no easy ways through, and a huge cliff looming beneath her, right off with no hesitation, full fall line attack. Sabile popping off that next rock, getting things under control as she is in an extremely exposed section of this venue.
Heading towards its next cliff, you can hear her breathing in the background, making quick work of it.
Well, and she is just going all in attack mode as Sabile Blanchon going even further out to the right, popping off of that feature, and clean run for Sabile Blanchon as she makes her way down the powder apron. Wow, well that was aggressive approach in big terrain for Sabile Blanchon, former winner here on the Bec de Ros in the leader's jersey. Ooh, wow, the ski women bringing it. Clean runs. Is she missing a pole? It's a tough day for ski poles here.
Tough day for ski poles, but 6 women down clean, no crashes, all showing really good technique and really intense energy the whole way through.
Yeah, none of them left anything on the table as they all went full throttle with the title wide open for anybody's to take. Lou Belin definitely doing her part with a 95-point run as we re-look here at the attacking approach of Sabile Blanchon.
You can see that she has grown up here. Just her comfort, that stance she has, whether she's going off a cliff, or in the steeps, you know, she's always right over her skis.
Yeah, and you can see the line category there maxed out, and it was that huge feature at the top that blew the ski pole out of her hand, taking on this corner piece that caused some riders a lot of trouble, but Sybille Blanchon handling it like the veteran. Lou Beren at the bottom, absolutely loving her front row seat for that performance from Sybille. So incredible performance from the ski women as all of them going top to bottom clean. The score coming in, going up, it's a 78.97. So she goes into third. She's going to be on the podium, but not the top step, as Lou Baron is going to be the ski women's winner of the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. Look at her as she starts to realize what this means for her.
And we'll see, the people are crunching the math in the background. We don't know who our FWT champ is going to be yet. But here are our standings for today. Lou Baron, 2 360s, bringing her in 95 first place, adjusting with a electric run of massive airs, memorable in second, and Sybille rounding it out with third place. But again, all of the women, 6 women, really had a spectacular run.
Yeah, and those scores are so tight between all of the ski women, really, really putting it down and making the judges work. As we see our podium here, Sybille Blanchon on the podium in third, Justine Dufour-Lapointe with the silver, and Lou Barin locking in the gold medal on the Bec des Rosses at the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. The ski women just delivering once again as we take a look, and it is going to be Lou Barin taking the Freeride World Tour title here. Sybille Blanchon in second, and Justine Dufour-Lapointe jumping all the way up to third place. Incredible moments from ski women.
I love when it's that tight, you know, just 400 points between the title. It really shows that all these women are going for it.
Well, and the celebration just going off down there as the ski women, they are congratulating each other. We got César in there, Lou Baron's little brother, as the two of them have made their way this year onto the Freeride World Tour, and safe to say made a humongous impact, as we are going to go down to the ski women's winner and Freeride World Tour champion. Lou Baron, describe what you're feeling right now.
It's incredible. Thank you so much for your World Tour to make this happen. I'm so happy, and I'm so happy to be with my family just here. Thank you!
Amazing, Lou. Talk us through the commitment required to do both of those 360s. You know, it's such an inspiration for all of us women to watch you trick on a venue like the Bec des Rosses. What was going through your head?
I'm really happy because I imagined this line and another one, but I choose last second this one, and I'm happy to do what I have to do. So thank you so much to watch the live, and I'm so happy.
Well, congratulations, and thank you for putting on quite the show for all of us. Enjoy all of this success and the rest of the sunny afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Huge congratulations there. Lou Baron, your Freeride World Tour champion. Ski women lighting up the Bec des Rosses with an incredible performance. Stay tuned. We are coming right back with the final category, Snowboard Women. Welcome back to the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. It is the grand final for the Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance 2026, and snowboard women are racked up and ready to go with a Freeride World Tour title on the line and a young rookie poised to take a championship in her first year. Can a rookie take it 2 years in a row? Last year we saw Noemi Aki do it. Now Mia Jones sitting in the driver's seat. My name is Derek Foos, joined by Hadley Hammer, bringing you all the action today. Snowboard women ready to go up here on the back, Hadley.
They are ready to go. The sun is still shining. We have been blessed with perfect weather on this final comp day. You know, I think it's intense for these athletes because they're nervous about today, but they don't want the season to end. But maybe they're ready for the break. All the emotions running. You can see the crowds stacked everywhere you look. Every ridge, every flat spot is full of people.
Yeah, Verbier coming out in full support of the Yeti Xtreme Verbier, the 30th anniversary of this event, and we are looking at our overall rankings. Mia Jones with a commanding lead on the field. Noemi Aki and Anna Martinez nearly tied in second and third there, and Michaela Davis-Meehan, the Aussie rider, sitting in fourth after her game-changing 360 in Alaska. We know that all four of these riders are going to be just vying for glory on the back today.
Here is your start list, same as all of the competitors. It's reverse order, so we'll have Michaela opening up the back for us, and here is our Peak Performance Fun Bet. 95% of you are going for Mia Jones, and 92% Noemi Aki, 84% with Anna Martinez. All three women completely capable of winning today.
Yeah, they're all, you know, they're all so comfortable in big terrain. We've seen the pedigree of Mia Jones in the steeps, and of course both Noemi Aki and Anna Martinez riding out of France, no stranger to the steeps, as we are going to get straight into it with Michaela Davis-Meehan. She's won multiple times in her Freeride World Tour career, the Australian rider, bringing the freestyle, really elevating the snowboard women's category, and she is straight out of start one and pushing hard immediately with a fall line attack.
We love that energy. She got second place here on the back last year, and I'm sure she's wanting to match it, if not more. Super strong riding as she cruises with speed and high energy down the face.
Yeah, above a ton of exposure here. The snow absolutely perfect. You can see the slough just pouring off of Michaela's board as she gets things back under control. The powder really helping these riders stay in control, but some of the places where the slough is gone are a little bit firmer, so the riders really need to judge the snow that they're on in the moment.
And really no easy way out of this over so much exposure, that whole top section, as Michaela cruises with confidence down into the bottom, and again getting to enjoy the glory turns. I mean, her whole run top to bottom was over massive cliffs.
Yeah, and she went so fast. Michaela opting for the pure free ride approach. Point the nose of the board down and don't let off the gas pedal as you pass through the finish arch, opening up the category. Michaela Davis-Meehan, the first rider for snowboard women, going top to bottom with a clean run and really, really aggressive approach there.
Yeah, you'll see with that line tracker that we're talking about, those cliffs at the bottom. So those top airs that she took, she really needed to stomp them clean and avoid going for a ride. Let's go back up. Check out this first way that she came in just with so much energy.
Yeah, and landing nice and clean, no bobbles whatsoever. You can see line control, technique, all high in the green for Michaela Davis-Meehan, popping that one as well. And this is where she committed to completely just giving it over to gravity, letting it absolutely buck. As Michaela Davis-Meehan, now the judges are going to compare that run versus all of the judging categories, and she comes in with a 78-point run to open up snowboard women. A very strong campaign down the back for Michaela Davis-Meehan. Well, back up we go. We do not take breaks at the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. We want to make sure all these riders get a chance before we got some looming clouds coming in the forecast later this afternoon. But the next rider, Chamonix' Anna Martinez, the first goofy-footed rider, 3 second places, 3 silver medals this season, putting her into 3rd place overall. Anna Martinez, 3 seasons on the tour, and she is pushing out. She's so comfortable in the steeps.
She really is. You know, Chamonix riding is all about steep terrain. There's not that much free ride, but there is steep if you want it. And you can see Anna is so comfortable as she lines up this top cliff. Perfect control right over the board.
Yeah, really bulking up the line score straight out of the start gate with 2 features immediately as Anna Martinez getting out to the rider's right side of this face where there are many more features just stacked up below her as she makes her way down through this absolutely gorgeous snow, landing with precision between those rocks.
Yeah, it takes a lot of good inspection to be able to do that, to know exactly where you're going to be when you're on the face.
A little bit of a pause there, but she was lining up something serious there as Anna Martinez now down into the lower section and just laying out these glorious soul turns in the powder field. There's, you know, it's the nice thing about the finals on the Beck, and especially with 3 starts, there's so few tracks on the apron that everybody can ride POW down to the finish corral.
That feels like a good reward for skiing something as dangerous as the Beck.
So Anna Martinez with a really strong line, stacking up the features there and putting down a strong campaign for glory on the Bec de Ros. Michaela Davis-Meehan sitting on the hot seat. Anna Martinez now sharing a hug with her competitor as we take a look at this Hover Air line track, a really direct approach.
Really direct, putting in some airs at the top that show her confidence above exposure. As we go back to look at Anna's run, this first cliff was really nice.
Yeah, so you can see the line bar there from the video judge moving really high as Anna Martinez's run was just stacked with cliffs all the way down, taking her time to line up her trajectory. She had to land between those rocks. A little bit of a speed check there, maybe a tiny butt touch, as the judges take all of that stuff into account.
They certainly will. You know, you always have to match the terrain and how they ride into it and make sure those things are equal, but I bet they will dock her a little bit there for sure.
Yeah, but the line score is definitely strong for Anna Martinez as she's now just, well, I mean, she's done her part. Michaela done her part. There's 2 riders to go in the finish as these 2 now just sharing a moment in the finish. And you can see these moments where you look back up of what you've done. That face is so imposing from below. It's so steep for such a long time. All right, here we go. The score coming in. The score to beat 78. Anna Martinez coming at a 79.67. So that line score holding up for the Chamonix rider as she is going to take on the hot seat from Michaela Davis-Meehan. A little bit of a trade-off, high five on the way out.
Yeah, the queen of second is getting her taste the flavor of first, and the question is, will she be able to hold it from Noemi Aki and Mia Jones that are coming right up?
Yeah, 2 serious powerhouse riders still left to go as we go back up, and you look at what these riders are dealing with from the start, getting that rider's eye view down the imposing bulk of the Bec de Ros as Noemi Aki now into the start gate, riding out of Val Thorens in France. She is the reigning Freeride World Tour champion. Her 2nd season only. She's already got a title under her belt, and she would love to take that on and do it again here as Noemi pushing out of the start gate to start her campaign for glory.
She won here last year. She knows she can do it again. Again, taking that entrance with the bonus cliff into it, so much harder, so much more committing than just riding in. As we see already hitting her 2nd air, she is moving with intention and speed all the way down this face.
Yeah, high intensity start for Noemi Aki. She knows if she wants to take over the lead of the overall from Mia Jones, she's going to have to put down something spectacular. A 360 over the windlip, so really adding to the air and style. Noemi is really coming out swinging here on the back.
She really is. I love her riding. She's so powerful and also so creative.
Oh, but the board going under the powder there. It's so deep in that landing, and unfortunately the nose just bogging under and putting her over the front of her board there. So an uncharacteristic crash from Noemi Aki on what was looking like a really strong run.
Yeah, she's not done yet, but it's so rare that we see her fall. She's almost always perfectly balanced on her board. But as we said, and we've seen with some of the men before, that middle section of the venue had trickier snow, harder to read, harder to navigate, and kind of ate some people up.
It's really deep there. There's spots where the wind has pushed the snow off, and there's other spots where the wind has pushed the snow into, and that was one of those deposits there. So a bit of a case of what could have been there from Noemi Aki, our reigning Freeride World Tour champion, coming down, sharing a hug with her riding friend and travel partner, Ana Martinez. The crowd are behind her, though.
They certainly are. We see with the tracker a pretty direct line, and again, such a cool entrance right in saying, I am here and I am here to go hard, as Noemi enters into the comp with an air, and this beautiful second air, full control, and able to really maximize both speed and technique.
Yeah, using that heel side edge to get control, and then the backside 3 over the wind lip, so adding air and style. And here's where things went wrong. The board just bogging in that deep powder. It's hard when the rest of the run hasn't been as deep and then your landing is. How do you set up for that?
It's really challenging. It's something you would have to predict before, and you could see her in that deep squat. She was fighting it, but that snow was not giving it all.
So a 52-point run for Noemi Aki. Ana Martinez holds on to the hot seat, which means we only have one rider left. Mia Jones needs to finish in the top 3 to take the Freeride World Tour title here. And a little fun fact here, we may see more of this develop. Mia Jones and her dad, Jeremy Jones, are the first ever parent-child combo to both compete on the Bec des Rosses. Jeremy Jones winning here in 2004. Now his daughter having the opportunity to do it in 2026. A real full circle combination here for the Jones family, as Jeremy and Tiff, and Mia's parents, are out here watching live in person, and Mia was amped up this morning. She didn't seem to have a lot of nerves. She just seemed like she was fired up to get out there and shred.
Okay, sick.
Yeah, you can see her mic is on, and as Derek said, she just was so excited, to ride this venue. I think it speaks a lot to her skill set of being able to handle the steeps. And you see as she goes with full force, like there's a jet engine coming off the back of her snowboard straight into this first air.
The only rider in the snowboard women's category to go out of start 3. The exposure absolutely enormous, and Mia Jones is going full throttle over here in the steeps. The exposure below her is extreme here on the Bec des Rosses, as Mia just navigating her way through this absolute maze of rocks.
You can hear her breathing hard. This mountain demands full leg strength as Mia makes her way down the back, catching an air just off the backside and enjoying the powder turn. She's got one more feature, and now she has a whole blank slate in front of her just to enjoy.
Oh, completely white rooming herself there with a slash turn. And Mia Jones now enjoying the fruits of her labor. A full speed attack. Just incredible riding there from Mia Jones. Top to bottom, immaculate run.
I mean, we've seen so much out of this rookie in her first year. Every run is so good. Her run in Alaska is burned into my brain at the moment. Just such a strong, impressive rider, and attending Dartmouth on the side.
Yeah, just part of the Freeride World Tour Overachievers Club, as so many of these riders. A big hug.
Great, it was so much fun.
Trying to just eavesdrop in on their conversation in the finish area. The hover air line tracker. Mia, the only rider in the snowboard women's category to go from start 3, and she went out with such a level of intensity.
She really did. There were some cliffs that were closed off for the women on that side, and Mia was able to find the way through all the exposure and hitting the cliffs that she could, and she just goes with full force.
Yeah, stacking features, above exposure, in the exposure, and then the riding, her board placement is so perfect. I love that. You know, you're down, you're past all of the cliffs. You can just give yourself the glory turn as the crowd in Verbier just absolutely frothing on the performances they've seen from the snowboard women's category, from ski women before ski men, and the snowboard men opening up the day. The score coming in for Mia Jones, it goes up, 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 way up, 87 points for Mia Jones, and she is going to take over the hot seat. She's going to share a hug there with Anna Martinez, and she just, I mean, doing some quick math, she needed to be in the top 3. She's first. She is going to be our Freeride World Tour champion for 2026, and she's going to share a moment, the top step of the podium with her and her dad have both done it on the back. Incredible moments there for Mia Jones, rookie and champion.
Totally. I asked her dad, is this the day that you guys are going to share this championship? And he said, easy, easy, not yet, don't jinx it. But I told him, you know, if there's someone to bet on, I'm betting on Mia. So there we go. Today's winner, Mia Jones. 87, huge win for her. Anna Martinez right behind in second place. Michaela Davis-Meehan with a super technical run in third. And here is our podium, Derek.
We see our podium. Michaela Davis-Meehan locking down the bronze. Anna Martinez with the silver to complete her clean sweep of second place finishes of the season. And Mia Jones, a winner on the back and your Freeride World Tour champion, as we take a look here at our overall standings.
Here we go. We knew it was coming. Mia Jones, rookie season with a solid overall lead. FWT champ. 34,000 points, pretty good. Anna right behind her in second now. Naomi Aki in third.
What a dominant performance. Mia Jones, our Freeride World Tour champion, winning on the back. Describe your run today and what this means to you.
Oh my God, it's such an incredible feeling. I honestly am so grateful to be here. The snow was so good, literally could not have asked for better conditions, and really happy my run worked out the way it did and I was able to keep it on my feet, and yeah, just so grateful to be here.
Well, we're grateful to have the chance to watch you. It seems like all day that there's just been this energy and excitement for you to just ride. Talk to us about how having fun and enjoying snowboarding plays a part in how you do so well.
Oh my, I mean, I think I just kind of try and go into every competition and think about the fact that we're here and we're riding these incredible faces and we have the best conditions and the best light and the best mountains, and just like focusing on that, and then the rest kind of doesn't really matter what happens because we're all out here and we're all having fun.
Mia, you were the only rider in the snowboard women's category to opt for Start 3. What went into that decision with your scoping and your decision to go over there?
Yeah, I think I was just kind of inspired by how it was like a little bit steeper and more sustained, and I felt like there were some cool like chutes and rocks and stuff that were really like calling to me. But honestly, it was such a last minute decision. Both starts looked so sick, and yeah, at the end of the day, I just figured out to try it out.
Well, a huge congratulations, Mia Jones, your Freeride World Tour champion and winner of the Yeti Xtreme Verbier, all in her first season on the tour. A dominant performance, one for the ages. Massive congrats. And the snowboard women just following suit with all the other 3 categories, absolutely lighting up the Beck today.
They really were such a good show. You know, I wanted it to happen even last night. I was sitting in bed like, I just want to watch it now and see what happens. And it delivered the show I was hoping for, the show I'm sure you all watching at home were hoping for. And now we have the long wait for next season.
Yeah, it's been an incredible season. It's had its ups and downs, but finishing on an absolute high with the Yeti Xtreme Verbier. The crowd here just going off, and they're going to have a hometown winner to celebrate tonight with Liam Rivera taking a win. So Verbier getting their opportunity to go bananas down in town. Hadley, final thoughts on today's competition?
You know, I think we saw the best out of the riders. Very few crashes, really creative lines, people just stomping their airs. I loved it.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it as well. The snow conditions just coming in absolutely perfection today, and the riders just making the most of it. Talk about them rising to the level of the day.
They really did. You know, I think the Beck demands respect and the riders give it, and as a reward for that, they really show their best skiing.
Yeah, incredible performances of of all of the riders, and we've got a little bit of a redo here with our ski men's winner. We had an audio issue in our interview before, so we're going to go back down to the finish with our Freeride World Tour champion and winner on the Beck today, Ben Richards. How are you feeling taking it all in today with the pressure and everything of getting it done today in Verbier?
Yeah, I don't know. Hard to put it into words, but just trying to soak it up. Like, it's been a dream to compete here and a massive dream to win here. So, yeah. And then the World Champs is the cherry on top.
Well, it was so well deserved. I mean, you had first place on lock pretty much at every competition. And what the audience really wants to know is, are you and Toby still best friends after this?
Ask him.
Not a chance.
Of course. He was the one who's been giving me advice on every single run of this year. So, yeah, I wouldn't be standing here if it wasn't for that guy.
Well, talk us through a little bit about your line selection today. You know, you went into the exposure right away with the 360 and then had that real high intensity approach. What went into developing that line for today's competition?
I don't know. I think I just watched a bunch of the runs on the Beck in the past, and I'm just like so inspired by how fast they all ride this face, and they're so committed, and I just wanted to, like, I don't know, pay respect to what they've been doing and trying to add my own flair onto that. So yeah, massive respect to everyone who's come before us.
Well, you've entered your name right into that mix. You're doing so well this season. It was such a treat for all of us to get to watch you ski.
Huge congratulations. Ben Richards taking the win at the Yeti Xtreme Verbier and taking the Freeride World Tour title here in Verbier. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, well, just incredible moments. Now, this is your opportunity to have your say. Log on to freerideworldtour.com, or you can use the QR code that's popping up on your screen and vote for the Rider of the Day. All categories, all riders are in play. Who did you love? What did you like? Who do you want to see as the Rider of the Day? This is your chance to have your say. The judges have had their say all day. Rider of the Day is a tough one today. There were so many.
It really is. It would be a hard one to pick.
All right, well, on behalf of the entire Freeride World Tour family, myself, Derek Foose, and Hadley Hammer, it is time for us to wrap up the 2026 Freeride World Tour by Peak Performance season. We're so grateful for you all for joining us this season, and for all of the riders for just putting on a show today and all season long. Thank you so much for coming on this ride with us, and we cannot wait to do it again in 2027. We'll see you next year.
See you soon.
Thank you.